Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two Dum Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Hey, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. Welcome back to the show. This is season 9. That's right, guys. Episode 900 of the Two Dum Yinzers, if you can believe it. Here we are. Season 9 is underway. We closed the door on season 8 yesterday, and we were just 100 short shows away from the big 1,000, guys. A lot of big things going on for the Two Dum Yinzers this year. We'll be hitting the 1,000 show mark roughly mid-summer. A lot of great things, guys, coming up on the 5-year anniversary, coming up on episode 100. A lot of great things going on. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Glad to see everybody on the terrible board this morning. Glad to see you guys. Glad to be here. I see I got Finch. Finch is on board today. Finch, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. I'm cold. It is freezing. It's absolutely insane how cold it is. And my house, no matter how high we turn up the furnace, just doesn't want to stay warm. It's that cold, and it's sustained cold. So
Yeah.
Other than that, we're okay, but it sucks, man.
Yeah, it is what it is right now.
Yeah, what are we gonna do? You know.
I went to my head doctor this morning, and I'm explaining because they ask you all kind of questions.
Mike calls those lot lizards.
I'm not that head doctor. But
yeah. Okay, yes. I'm sorry. The professional. You went to a professional doctor.
And she asks me she asks me all these questions and everything, and you know what it comes back to everything. All my problems, they come back to Derpy. I got to be honest with you.
I was expecting you to say my strained relationship with my mother, or something, deep, and it's like, no, it's double derpy.
And I'm laying on this couch telling her all my problems, and everything went good until it got to the very end, and I was telling her about the show, and she says, "It sounds like Derpy is really driving you crazy." And I said, "You know what? He is driving me crazy." And she gave me some advice, which she's not allowed to do, but she did anyway, so I'm not going to share it. I don't want to do that to her. I just want to say, guys, that it went well. I'm here. That was this morning. That's out of the way. And the casting couch, absolutely. guys. But again, it was Derpy. Derpy was he's at the bottom of all this. Apparently, he'll be here tomorrow. I'm not going to hold my breath, but that's the plan. He's going to be here tomorrow. As a matter of fact, he's crazy. He's crazy. He's on the listen to this. Last night, he's playing his video games, and I'm not going to put the name out there, but there was a Steeler that he was playing a video game with, and or somebody he knew or something like this. And he gets a hold of me. It's 12:43 a.m. and he's like, "Yo." Now this is somebody that again, I it's like pulling teeth to get to get him to do anything, dude. Well, how would you like if we could get this Pittsburgh Steeler tomorrow on the show? I was like, Derpy, I would love if we could get that Pittsburgh Steeler on the show tomorrow. So I said, get things set. He goes, do you want to talk to him? I go, no, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to talk to him, but if you could handle it, that'd be great. I said, get his contact information, give him a scoop of what's going on, and we'll go from there. So about 3 minutes later, he texts me back. He's like, oh, no go. Why do you even bother me? Why didn't you just handle this without waking me up and then not even worry about telling me? Because again, you woke me up to tell me this, and it ends up being a no-go.
Not just you. He put it in a group chat. So
he put it in the group chat.
All of us up. I also woke up. And
everybody's phone was dinging.
Kidding me right now? My wife's like, "Who's dinging us at 1:30 in the morning?"
But we do have this Steeler on tap, guys. I'm going to talk to him again. I don't know what was said between him and Derpy, but at the end of the day, I'm going to talk to him. We'll get this person on. I don't want to give the name out just yet, but I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. But again, Derpy is one more time the ground zero of all of my issues, apparently, according to my psychiatric doctor. But there you go, guys. Episode 900. Derpy's still making me insane, but you know what? That isn't going to stop us at all. We're still jumping hurdles. We're still doing what we do, and we do what we do, and we're going to continue to do what we do, guys. However, I do have a special surprise for you. I was hoping Derpy would be here to enjoy it, but I think if he's here tomorrow, we'll do it then again, because it's a lot of fun. I think you're going to see. It only takes 2 minutes. I'm not going to take a whole lot of your time. So if you guys want to check this out, there was a comment on the board over the past week, and I thought it was brilliant. So while having a casual conversation with the in-house AI band, they threw together a nice little ditty about our Derpy. And the song, guys, you might recognize from the board. The title of the song is called Terrible Titties. And this song was made for Derpy for our 900th show for the day 1 of the 9th episode. Give me 2 minutes of your time. I think you'll like it. Mike, let it rip. Let Derpy's Terrible Titties.
We want Derpy's Terrible Titties. I will let it rip here in 1 second, baby. This song is it is fire.
If you like it, let us know. If you hate it, let us know. Either way, here it goes.
Bro, you're smuggling parade balloons. The cotton looking violent. Got them steppins under flannel. Buttons fighting for their lives. Every step he takes in public. Physics barely survives. Terrible titties. Terry's terrible titties. Hey! Bouncing like they're trying to flee the city. Fun bags. Dirt pillows. Chesticles that jiggle. Everybody point at ways to sneak it.
There you go, everybody. That's a little something we put together for you to kick off episode or season 9. Again, Derpy's Terrible Titties. When that show goes viral, it kind of puts me in mind of the song "Scotty Doesn't Know" from
Yes.
Eurotrip.
Yes.
In a way, it has that vibe.
I was thinking that too. Yes.
But there you go, guys. That is for Derpy. That is about his terrible titties. Of course, that was one of the highlights of season 8, believe it or not, was when Derpy's titties were accidentally exposed for all to see right here on the internet, guys. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that little bit of music as we get the show kicked off today. Welcome back to the show. Glad to see everybody. Glad to see everybody on the board. Let's get to the terrible board this morning. Mike, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I was fired up for Derpy's Terrible Titties. You know, he's smuggling some summer hams.
I love it.
The summer hams line gets me every time.
The opening line, the parade, I was cracking up just at the very first line. It had me.
The parade balloons.
I was in.
Yeah.
Every time he walks, you know, the laws of physics, you know, there's.
See, that could have been a lot of fun if he was here. We could have all pointed and laughed at him as it was playing. But again, you know, Derpy and Hollywood Derpy. You know.
No show Derpy.
No show Derpy. I mean, I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to spend all show on Derpy. I just want to say this. If you want to do something, you make time for it. I just, you know, that's just a general rule in life. For something you really want to do and be involved with, you make time for it. If you don't, you don't. But again, I'm going to leave it right there because we have a very important meeting coming up in about 11 days. We're going to handle all this stuff then, guys. Let's move on. I don't want to waste any more time. Guys, let's get on the terrible board. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the two Dum Yinzers. You just heard Terrible Titties right here on the show, guys. Brand new. It's going to go viral. You'll hear it all over. And if you don't hear it all over, you'll certainly be humming it to yourself and singing it to yourself later, as I've been doing for the past about 11 hours. It's a lot of fun, guys. Terrible Titties. There you go. Terrible Titties to kick off season 9. Good morning. Good afternoon, everybody. Wherever you may be, welcome. Welcome, Miss Pittsburgh. She says, here we go. Here we go, Miss Pittsburgh. Always great seeing you. She follows that up with a good morning or good afternoon, everyone. Here we go, Steeler Nation. Cody, my man, what it do, brother? Always great seeing the Codester on the terrible board, Cody. How you doing, man? Just Learning says, good, homies. How you doing? Good morning. Always great seeing Just Learning as well. Miss Pittsburgh, let's go. Tyrone, my guys, what's up? There's the GOAT Tyrone on the terrible board. Always great seeing you, Tyrone, with some fire for the song. We appreciate that. Steel Menace, aloha. Always great seeing Steel Menace from out on the island of Hawaii. Great to have you here, Steel Menace. My man, Cody says this got 99 problems and a bitch ain't one. 99 problems and a bitch ain't one.
Hit me.
Cody, it's Cody. I mean, it's not Cody, it's Derpy. I'm sorry, not Cody. It's Derpy. Derpy's my problems, but apparently that's what my psychiatrist told me. And I have to handle it. Just Learning says this, is Malik Willis the guy or not? Is he like Richardson? You know what? That's a good question. I think that would be the quarterback I would compare him to. But his name's certainly coming up a lot. We'll get into that, guys, because, again, the direction that this offense is going relies heavily on what decision we make at the quarterback position. Just Learning that the casting coach, Tortilla, says he is 45 times better than Richardson, but Willis will probably have a bidding war for him. Steeler Freak says, there it is. Steeler, I think it was either you or Ian's or Joe. One of Ian's guys threw out the Terrible Titties that was the inspiration for the new hit song that you did here today on the show. We will round out the show today with the song in case you missed it to finish up later on. Derpy Titus is very contagious. It sure is. And you know what's funny about Derpy? He was offering himself to stay at Finch's house at one point. I can't remember what it was. I was watching one of their shows, and they were talking about the draft maybe.
Yeah.
And Derpy's like, well, maybe I could just stay at your house.
I'll just stay at your house and we'll drive there. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No,
Snuggle buddies.
Yeah, cuddling up with Derpy.
I already have a snuggle buddy. She's way cuter than Derpy.
Just think how much warmer you would be with two people.
Well, I'm warm enough. Thanks for asking.
Let's see. Lance Nolte, I do want to say welcome to Lance. Lance says this, how we feeling about these coaching hires and the ones we kept, I'm pretty happy. Yeah, we're going to get into all that here shortly. We're going to retain guys. We're bringing guys in. We're hiring guys. We got a whole thing going on here, guys. So it is so far so good. I mean, I don't know. I'm looking at some of these coordinators, and they are people that just eventually did get fired or recently got fired, and just makes you say to yourself, okay, you got to kind of figure all that out because there's guys that again, the guy that we brought in from Oakland, from the Raiders. We'll get into all that real soon. So a lot of questions. There are a lot of questions. How do you even analyze and how do you grade something like that? Because again, these guys are people that were just fired from their jobs. So we'll look more into that as the show goes on. Great to see you on the terrible board, Lance. Welcome. Cody says, Derpy's knocker scared us all. My shrink says, I'm scarred. Me too. Me too. That's exactly what she just told me about an hour ago.
I shiver every time I think of it.
My blood pressure was up. Everything. The whole nine with this guy.
Steam's coming out of your ears.
Out of my ears. Lance says, yes, Willis is going to get $25 million for his services. Cody says, what up, Lance? What up, big dog? Tortilla, my man. I'm all the way out in Sacramento, California. He says Derpy probably flashed him and scared him off. I could imagine that probably happened, as he did to most of us on that day back in the fall.
That fateful day.
That fateful day that nobody was prepared for.
It was a cold day in Pittsburgh.
What up, Cody? Tyrone, everybody just learning $15 million for Willis. Cody says midget stripper. The midget stripper's coming. We got her coming. I just have to wait for the most opportunistic time. Because right now it's all Steelers and people are tuning in. And that's what they want to pay attention to. But we will have the midget stripper back on. She, of course, is the world's shortest stripper, Cassie. She's a friend of the show. She's done work with us before, and we're going to have her again. I just got to kind of wait for the football to slow down a little bit because she'll be to fill in, obviously, some time. So that is coming. I know Cody's been looking forward to the midget stripper.
Could she and Derpy have a terrible titties competition right here on the show?
I was thinking about the guys on the show having a terrible titties competition. I'll judge the three of me and the board. We'll get all three of you in bikini tops.
No,
we'll judge you and see who's the worst. That could be a lot of fun. Let's do.
I don't want to break my camera, bro.
Cody says, haha, everybody in Discord hates that guy. I don't understand it. Who's that? Who do they hate? Tortilla says, I can see a 2-year 45 to 50 million, give or take. That was Mike. Tortilla, every Derpy's boobs rip, even Derpy's boobs rip ass. Lance says Brown is the gunslinger man, 5th round pick. I'd be all over him. Tyrone, my man. He says this. I'm not paying a dude. Had one good half a season. And that's what I'm saying too. I'm not really sold on Willis just yet. We got him in small doses, and at this point, I mean, he could be something. He might not be. I don't know if you could go all in with an investment with a lot of money. Again, that's a pretty big move, especially when we're paying our top tier quarterback money to another player on the other side of the ball. So again, we'll definitely get into all that. Mark Malone, Derpy going to be famous. Derpy is going to be famous for them titties. And you know what's wild? It's always the one thing that you probably least want to be famous for is always the thing that can make you famous. He doesn't want to show his titties anymore. That was an accident. The camera came on and there he was.
Was that not his very first camera appearance on this show? Was that moment?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure it was, because he was telling us for weeks he got this new laptop with a camera on it and he wanted to use it for the show, but he kept not using it.
Yeah.
And then that day he accidentally clicks a button and there he is.
There he is. He looked like a bird sitting in a nest. Remember, the blankets were all around him kind of, and there he was, like a big breasted, terrible titty bird just sitting there for all to see.
He looked like a plucked dodo.
Like a plucked dodo, yes. Very much so. Let me scoot up here a little bit on the board. I do want to say good morning, welcome, good afternoon, wherever it is. Frank, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Frank. He says, any word on the offensive coordinator? I do not. We have a lot of other news concerning other positional coaches, but the offensive coordinator is still up for grabs apparently at the moment. Just learning, so sexual harassment. You're right. When we seen his titties, we did have rights to file sexual harassment against Derpy. I agree. Let's see. And Joe, sorry, I'm late to the party. I was watching Rob King interview with Mike McCarthy. If you guys are interested, that would be interesting. I do like Rob. I see that he has new books out, and
definitely checking it out later on tonight. Yes, for sure.
He's been down my feed quite often lately.
He's wonderful. I like Rob.
Robert says, I think the Steelers use a 3rd or 4th round on a quarterback this year and a 1st round on a quarterback in 2027, unless Howard or the 2026 pick emerges as a bona fide NFL starter. All right, good. That's a good thought. Tortilla Tyrone. That's not even bad, really. Aaron Jade, always great seeing Aaron Jade on the terrible board. Always love it. He doesn't miss a day. Yeah, if you want to do something, again, you make time for it. And guess what? Aaron makes time every single day to make sure he puts this post up here, and I value that. He says, here we go, Steelers with the Rockets. There's not been a day that went by over the past year that I haven't seen that, and it's always like the good morning for me here on the show. Quarterbacks get expensive. Absolutely. Tortilla is saying. Tyrone says, yeah, it ain't that bad, but cool. Rather roll with Howard. Danny, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Danny Boylan back on the board. Danny says this: Steelers need receivers and get rid of skill in hands DK. And that's the thing about DK. I mean, he takes a nice little chunk of money too. We got him on this contract, and he's taking a nice chunk of money at the end of the day. So he's the number one receiver. I hope we do hit something big in the draft as far as a receiver go. We have to do something. We can't continue with one receiver, especially if the guy is he just a lot of times he'll drop an easy pass, a pass at a critical point in the game, and you can't. I mean, that can't be your number one guy. Even if he's the number one, he can't be the only target, the biggest target. That definitely we have to do something with the wide receiver position, especially now moving forward, making these changes, guys. As Arthur Smith took his services to Ohio State, so we were moving forward. Hopefully, we can fix all these things. I'm going to go right here to Lance. Lance says exactly at Tortilla. It doesn't matter if they flash, they get paid. Derpy walks. I don't know if Derpy really walks anywhere, to be honest with you.
Waddles.
He's not a real walker, I don't think.
He rolls. Derpy rolls.
Tyrone says, yeah, Cody, his legs say, let me pass. I let you by. Kenny, what's up, Kenny? Always great seeing Kenny D on the board. Kenny says, let's go Steelers. Welcome to the board. Welcome to the show. Great to see you, Kenny. RB, my man, Jason Simmons to be named assistant DC and defensive back quality control. I know that he was interviewing. I know that, again, he worked with Coach McCarthy and things in the past, and he was a Steeler back in the early 2000s, late 90s into the early 2000s. So it's not a surprise to me that Jason is going to be here on working with the secondary. I kind of had a feeling that he would. RB follows it up by saying, just been told Simmons was signed to the assistant DC in some other fancy title. Gotcha. Again, I was kind of expecting that. We'll get into the coordinators and everything just in a second because we do have a new defensive coordinator. We do have that scoop that RB just gave us. We have more scoop and other things as well we'll get into real shortly here. Yinzer Joe says Steelers still interested in Lunda Wells at offensive coordinator. As far as I know, he went talking to a few other teams. I know that he went also to, besides talking to us, talked to Washington, and he did talk to the Jets as well. So we will keep an ear open on Lunda Wells as well. Don't drink that. What's up, Corey? My man Corey on the terrible board. He says, I just want to know our defensive coordinators already. Great seeing you, Corey. If you like conspiracy theories, check out Corey. Don't drink that right here on YouTube. A lot of cool content he does put out. Everything, time travel, government. Don't drink that. Check it out right here on YouTube, guys. A lot of fun. Tyrone says, hey, let's go get a good defense. Let's go get good defensive coaches for once. Bye Terrell Austin. What did I just see about him? I seen something about Terrell Austin. I don't recall.
He got interviewed by the Commanders, and then they immediately hired someone else.
That's what it was.
They were like, yeah, no thanks.
And that's what I think of. You think of all these recycled guys, and I say, you know what? They just got fired, and we're bringing these people in when we're trying to improve. And people got to be thinking that as well. I mean, come on. When you bring in Arthur Smith, for an example, you can't just look at what the Steelers just did over the past 2 seasons and say, I have to have that. So, you know what I mean? So much has to go into these decisions and thoughts. And at the end of the day, it leaves you scratching your head sometime because at the end of the day, yes, maybe Arthur Smith will do fine on the college ranks. But at the end of the day, there's not really a lot of evidence that said he's a great assistant coach or offensive coordinator. Yes, he had one good year in Tennessee. And at the end of the day, I tend to think that I'm leaning toward Mike Vrabel. Because, again, in the short period of time, he has his team in the Super Bowl. So I don't know how much I'm going to give credit to Arthur Smith on that. But that's his claim to fame. Other than that, he took the head coaching job in Atlanta, was 7-10 for 3 years. You've seen what he did here for the last 2 years in Pittsburgh. I don't think anybody is fighting to keep him here or was fighting to keep him here. So at the end of the day, the hiring process has to be insane sometimes when the pool of guys are guys that are all got fired for failing. So, you always want to keep your eye on those young guys, the Schilhasses, the Shulas, because you think that they have a bright future. And unfortunately for everybody, it played out that right now was still the Raiders and the Cardinals are the only 2 teams looking for head coaches. Those 2 guys are still out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those two teams don't seem to be beating down their door.
No, they sure don't.
For those guys. So that either says something about the coaches or those 2 organizations. So it's just weird that they were the big ones, and then a bunch of older head coaches were hired, or guys who have been coordinators for a while got the job. So it's kind of weird, If I wonder if a lot of agents were doing a lot of pushing for these guys to get their name out there.
Sure. I mean, like you said, you don't go knocking down the door for people that have not great numbers. And, you can say, well, I worked with him, or It's the system. Again, there's a lot of thought that goes into it, guys. It's not that easy. So at the end of the day, I don't know if we'll know what we have, at least until we get into the season and kind of see what kind of production, offensive, how defense looks, things like this. Let me move on. RB says Graham was not fired. He was given permission to interview for other jobs. He was retained by 3 different head coaches in his time in Vegas. Cody says this. Mike's whoa was the funniest shit. I'm not sure
when I saw them titties, man, I was just like,
oh,
because I think you might have been looking at a different screen at that time, and them titties flopped right up.
yeah.
Oh.
Again, the highlight of episode or season 8. No two ways about that. Terrible titties.
Do you have the episode number on that one?
You know what? I don't on hand, but I can pull it up here. But guys, do stick around if you did not catch the Terrible Titties song, the song right here by the in-house AI band. We will play it as the show rounds out today. Keep your ear out for that. It's great. Lindsay, always great seeing Lindsay on the terrible board. Lindsay, how are you? Hope things are well. I know it's cold. Tyrone says defensive coordinator Graham and assistant Simmons or something. Tortilla says you're alive, Lindsay. And you missed it yesterday, Lindsay, because a little tater tot from across the pond, of course, our resident Browns fan, he was a decent person yesterday. He was a normal person. He wasn't in here calling everybody piss pukers and everything else. And the reason was because they hired Todd Monken.
He won us over yesterday. He was offering it was to the point where we were offering him to stay at Mike's house.
Yes.
And I was going to buy him some hot dogs.
Yes.
And you were going to take him to the draft, and it was going to be awesome.
I was going to meet him there, but yeah.
That's how he turned us yesterday.
And the thing was, and the thing was, he was so down because his Browns hired Todd Monken after he seen what kind of a great job he did with the Baltimore Ravens offense, again with the MVP quarterback and Derrick Henry, and the team finishing under 500 and not winning the division like they were supposed to. And again, at the end of the day, Cleveland gets him. And the funny thing about that, Jim Schwartz was the defensive coordinator. Now, when he found this information out up at Cleveland, he was visibly pissed. He stomped around, he stormed out of the building. He gave his final goodbye. He said, I don't have anything to do with this team anymore. He was, of course, expecting to be in line to possibly get the head coaching job. So as the Browns hired Todd Monken, Jim Schwartz, again, somebody that those are good defense. Say what you want about Cleveland. Their defense was one of the tops in the league, certainly top 10. We played it. We struggled against it both times. And he was expecting to get the nod. However, they did take the fired Todd Monken. I think he was fired. I would assume that he was fired from Baltimore, but Todd Monken again is back with the Browns and is their head coach. So Kevin Stefanski in Atlanta, Todd Monken, head coach of the Cleveland Browns, guys. Jim Schwartz, who knows? And this is a guy that a lot of people thought, you know what, might be a good name for the Steelers to interview, look at. But we hired a defensive coordinator within an hour or two after. So that wasn't going to happen. We'll get into all those names and so much more. Let's scoot up on the board.
I got a little scoop real quick, Ryan.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Scott Tolzien, quarterback coach of the Saints, is interviewing with the Steelers to be offensive coordinator. He played for and coached under Mike McCarthy.
All right. And one thing I'm noticing too, there's a lot of connections. All these guys we're talking to, they're guys that worked with McCarthy. They're guys with McCarthy knew this guy from 25 years ago. He worked with Omar Khan 25 years ago. This was his defensive coordinator in Dallas. This was his offensive coordinator in Green Bay. So a lot of connections right now seems to be the way that he's building his staff around him, which, again, I mean, is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. You have to kind of go back and look at each individual season and see what these people did at their jobs. But again, that seems to be the pattern here as far as bringing people in for the interviews for coordinator positions and assistant coaches and such. Let me scoot up here. No word on the OC yet, Ty. Danny says this. Hello from Okie dokie Pittsburgh fan from Oklahoma. We're glad to have you, Danny. Oklahoma's a wonderful place. And I wonder, what's the weather like right now in Oklahoma? Quite interested to hear. Lindsay says, laugh my ass off if I'm still here. The snow is killing me, though. John says, post-traumatic derpy syndrome. I have that, yes. It's post, during, pre, whatever syndrome it is with derpy. I have it. My doctor told me so. Let me scoot on here. Just Learning says this. I had a stripper girlfriend for a while. She was awesome. I can imagine. I never had a stripper girlfriend. Cody, Lindsay, what's up? Tortilla, you're still snowed in. To Lindsay, Richard, that's too funny. What's up, Richard? Always great seeing Richard Jankowski on the terrible board. My man, how are you today, sir? Ty says 24.90. One needs more money and one needs less money, in my opinion. That's just where I'm going to leave that right now. RB says this: Graham produced better defenses in the last 3 years than we had with 1/8 of the talent and half the spending. And I'm not going to argue that. I think we're spending way too much for a defense that's underachieving. So good point. Bingo, what's up, dude? Always great seeing the great Bingo Winchester on the board. He says working on the tractor today. Lindsay said no work today, but snow piles are so high, way taller than me. Snow finally starting to melt. And that's the thing. It's just so cold. It's not melting. We got these big mounds everywhere, and it looks like it's going to be sub freezing, certainly, for as far as I can see. So that's part of the problem too. Corey says he just looked like the picture I sent you guys with the owl. Laugh my ass off. Miss Pittsburgh, Baltimore got a new head. They did get a new head coach. We'll get into that in just a moment here. John, Steeler Freak, Big John Stud, middle name Mud. He says this: after the derpy titty flash, I sent him some Fat Tuesday parade beads. Hey, when is this Fat Tuesday anyway? When's that come around? That's Mardi Gras. Finch, when is Mardi Gras?
I know it's coming up in early to mid-February. Let me do a quick search. I can tell you real fast.
All right, I'm going to say hi to TC as you do that. Great seeing my friend, my neighbor from Aliquippa, TC on the board. Afternoon, everybody. My man, always great seeing you, sir. Hope things are good. I hope things are warm for you, TC. Always great having you here, man.
February 17th.
February 17th is Fat Tuesday.
Gras means Ash Wednesday is the next day, and then 40 days later is Easter.
All right, there you go.
There you go.
The whole Gregorian calendar explained right here on the two Dum Yinzers. Don't say you didn't learn anything, guys. Tyrone says Graham defensive coordinator and Simmons assistant. Let's go. We got this, baby. We're moving forward. We are moving forward. Lance, yes, Ravens did hire Jesse Minter, which I wonder how much of that shaped the way that we hired. I'm just saying, he's a defensive-minded coach. Let's just say we were thinking about one of these younger coordinators, one of these up-and-coming guys, one of these innovative underclassmen, if you will. You wonder how much Jesse Minter affected the way we hired. Again, we go with the Mike McCarthy, who's more what's the word I'm looking for? He falls in that category of coaches that I always talk about when I say the main three. John Harbaugh, Mike McCarthy, and Mike Tomlin, they all just kind of fall in the same category for me. Their statistics are damn near identical the whole way down through their careers, their wins, their losses, their playoff records, and they just kind of fall in that category for me. And it makes me wonder, were we interested in maybe going younger? Were we interested in looking at somebody that could keep up with the league opposed to one of these three guys, this carousel of guys that the league has seemed to have passed in their tenure? Again, winning early, all three of them, they all won Super Bowls a long time ago. Harbaugh back in 2012, of course, Green Bay, Mike McCarthy in 2010 against us, and then, of course, Coach Tomlin back in 08-09 in that Super Bowl. So they basically have the identical track record, and that's what makes me wonder. I didn't know if they wanted to stay in the same direction. You want to kind of go with the way things are going, but with just a different guy, maybe an offensive mind, and that ended up being what we did, Finch. But it makes you wonder, how much did the Jesse Minter hire prior to us hiring our head coach last weekend, how much that played a role? Because again, if Baltimore goes a different route, say they go young, innovative head coach, and they don't go with the defensive minded Minter, it feels really AFC North to me. The process and the way that these coaches and who they are being hired for the teams around the division.
You're playing more than 1/3 of your games against divisional opponents every season. 6 of your games out of 17 of them are divisional opponents. So you have to pay attention to what they're doing, and you need to staff your team accordingly. And it's always funny that, we talk about divisions, like you just mentioned, it feels AFC North. Divisions have these identities. That's why, because these teams have to put themselves together to face those other teams in their division first and foremost. That's where their focus needs to be. So when you see a guy like Jesse Minter going to that staff for the Ravens, it does make you wonder, did we make that pick of Coach McCarthy to counterbalance that? Because they are our biggest rival.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we do judge ourselves against them. And funny enough, they, in the last 10 seasons or so, have been pretty much just as mediocre middle of the line, just above middle of the line as we have, with an exception of a season or two. They did have a pretty rough season a few years ago. The Ravens did. So, but yeah, I mean, that really is what it comes down to is that you do look at other teams in your division, and you see this all over the NFL. It's not just in our division. Look at the NFC North. I mean, those guys, it's a battle there. And I mean, they're moving head coaches between teams there. And you're seeing the results of that, like this year with the Bears, for example, and the Lions. So it is part of the strategy, and you do have to see what the opponents are doing and base what you're doing around that.
Mike?
It just feels like this coaching cycle, everything's skewed towards experience. Whereas in the past, everything was skewing towards youth and younger. Because, Tomlin was an outlier when he was hired. So same thing with Cowher and that McVay then became the in vogue thing of like, let's get the younger coaches. Now it seems like the NFL is swinging back the other way. Hey, let's get guys who have experience, build a foundation. Then if we want to go younger, these guys don't work out. We have a foundation in place, and we can get the next guy in after these guys have to rebuild us to where we want to get to. If this will work out, that's just what I prefer. More experienced coaches, maybe not old. Age scale, yeah, some of them are older on the age scale, but we have a lot of NFL experience around. They've been offensive coordinators or defensive coordinators. Where in the past you've seen guys get elevated who have assistants. Now seems like the league or owners are winning guys who have more well-rounded, getting passed over everywhere. Seems scratching to me.
It's a head scratcher. Good take, guys. Let me move on. Cody says this. You know what they say when you have snow piles, make yellow snow cones. That's right. Tortilla says, make a terrible towel. How about the terrible titties right in the snow, like an imprint, and we could mold it and we could sell them. They would fly off the shelves. I'm telling you, the terrible titties mold.
I should go dig out like a giant, like a snow castle, sand castle of Jen Tarpey's titties.
Yes. You got what? You got mold of your own?
Do you have moldy titties? Is that what you were saying, Mike?
I said I got my own mold of my own titties out in the snow. We can sell those.
Mold, not mold.
Well, those aren't the terrible titties. What's the? There's no
it's not
brand
the same.
on that.
Those are the vanilla titties. It's totally different. It's a different class of titty.
Now, if you told me that we were selling your skullet hair, perhaps that would fly. But
a lock of your hair, yeah, put it in a little locket.
Yes.
Sell it for $100 to every lot lizard in town.
Tyrone says, "Okay, I see how it is." Lindsay says, "I literally said Tyrone. Scroll up." Ty also says, "Okay, there you guys are talking." Bingo says, "Still think DK would do better in the slot." Bunch of formations with the tight ends. And one thing that I did notice is the fact that, again, if something that you might have learned from the press conference the other day, if you watched it, I love the transparency of Coach McCarthy. I love the fact that he's giving you the ideas that are in his head. Again, everything was so secret, hush before he comes out and he says, guys, I want all my receivers to learn every wide receiver position. I want one to play 1, 2, and 3. And that to me says this guy is a problem solver. He's trying to figure out ways to make things better. It's been very stale, we've been running in place for years, it feels like, and just that comment alone made me feel confident that things are going to start changing, guys, for the better. Because again, I can't remember hearing and again, I'm not going to badmouth anyone. I don't remember hearing the former coaching staff saying these kind of things, especially in public. And again, well, what do you want to tip off? No, I don't want to tip off anybody. I at least want to know that we have something in mind. And again, I like the transparency. I like the way that Mike McCarthy came out. He kind of explained the way that he wants to run the offense, what he expects of the receivers, what he expects them to learn, know, and do. And again, those are all good signs for me early on top of knocking the ball out of the park with the initial press conference. So my interest in Mike McCarthy, again, no matter if we dislike, whatever the case may be, it is what it is. So he's growing on me. He's growing on me early. And again, he's going to be my head coach for the next few years, as was the last 3 guys were my head coaches as well. And he will get the respect from me as they did as well. And we're going to hopefully win more football games, hopefully get that 7th Vince Lombardi. And you know what? Sometimes, Vince, Mike, these hometown guys, there's more of a fight in them because again, this is my home. This is what this is my
There's
life.
Pride involved.
A lot of pride.
And it's an entire lifetime's worth of pride. Don't think for 1 minute that when he was coaching the Cowboys, he wasn't also checking the Steelers scores and rooting for him a little bit deep inside. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that plays a part of it, and that's part of the reason I think why he was so emotional in his press conference. He understands it means a lot to him. It means a lot to his family.
And you don't want to fail when you have this kind of situation. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like I come here and I don't want to fail. I don't want to fail the people on the board. I don't want to fail. So maybe there's just a certain pride with him where he just, you know, where times that he may be able to have a shortcoming or maybe cut an edge or cut a corner. He says, you know what? I can't fail. These are my people. I don't want to fail these people. And I'm going to go out there and do what it takes to bring a Super Bowl back to Pittsburgh. So again, guys, this is just a beginning of the new time. This is a change, a time of change. 2026 is for a lot of reasons, but certainly for the Pittsburgh Steelers, guys. Of course, on last Saturday, bringing Mike McCarthy in to be the new head coach, signing him on Tuesday at the press conference, hiring staff, assistants, coordinators, all these things. Now that's the process we're in, and there's still so many processes, guys. Again, we have the combine next month, we have the draft in April coming here to Pittsburgh, we have free agency, we have so many things, and then the rookie camps and the mini camps and everything. So this is a 365 day a year thing. It truly is. As a younger person, it was the 16 games, and then if you made the playoffs, if you didn't. But as I got older and I started to learn and I started gaining interest, and again, this thing really truly doesn't end, and it can be a lot of fun if you do follow it all year round, if that's your thing. But let me move here on the board forward a little bit. I don't want to get too far behind today, guys. Glad to see everybody back on this Thursday installment of the Two Dumb Yinzers. Again, this is episode 1 of season 9. Today is episode 900, guys. Just 100 episodes short of the big 1,000 coming in the 5-year anniversary of the show. So we do hope you stick around with us, guys. We do appreciate each and every one of you, and guys all made it possible. So thank you. Let me jump back on the terrible board here. I'm going to go to right around here. Right there, Lindsay. Okay, we got Lindsay and Jamal, or I'm sorry, Ty. I'm going to go Cody. Cody says this. Cody says Ohio State's going to get rid of their receivers and run 3 tight end sets and with checkdowns and screen passes. That would be literally the best thing I've ever seen in my life. If Ohio State would go to Arthur Smith's offense the way we know it, I would watch every single Ohio State game this year. Mike?
I will become a huge Ohio State fan if they just run 4 tight ends. Okay, if I run 5 tight ends, run 6. You don't need a quarterback. You can have a tight end take a snap, hand off to a tight end, and throw to a tight end.
Are you suggesting, Mike, that they can become tight end you and not wide receiver you anymore?
Tight end you, yeah, they don't need wide receiver you. That can go back to being LSU. They can go to be tight end you. They can steal that title away from Iowa.
Tyrone says, I didn't see it. Shaking my head. I couldn't talk JPJ yesterday. It's all good, brother. Great to have you today. But it's up today. Bingo says, don't you dare say it, Cody. I don't know what the guys got going on over here, but they're always up to no good on the terrible board. I do want to say good morning to everybody. Tortilla. Now, let me go right here. Tortilla says this, shit, Arthur Smith is actually a good offensive coordinator when his players are better than everyone else's. You know what? That goes a long way, too. People always talk about the success of this quarterback in college. When you have all the best recruits in the country on your team, it's certainly a lot easier to be successful than it is to come to a team that's struggling, fix the whole problem, uproot it, and make success. So I think he'll probably be okay in Ohio State by default, as he was under Vrabel and in that whole situation, just that 1 year that they did go to the AFC Championship game in Tennessee. But we will continue to hear about that over and over. How many times has this guy got to have a bad season or bad production or a bad outing before people start saying, you know what, Arthur Smith's probably just not that good an offensive coordinator? But
it's that Jeff Fisher thing. Remember, he had a couple really great seasons with Tennessee, took him to a Super Bowl, came this close to winning it, and then for the rest of his career, he was mediocre at best, less than mediocre even, and he was just the most average coach of all time, but people treated him for years like he was Andy Reid or Bell, like he was a genius, and it's like, no. Why do you keep hiring this guy?
Cody says that's a lie. I got you to say JPJ yesterday at 11:04. That is to, of course, Ty. Also, Lance. Lance says this, best thing about Arthur Smith going to Ohio State is he's going to tank Jeremiah Smith's draft stock. You know what? It just might happen again. I think he's going to be fine just because of the system. It's almost made it in a way that he can't fail, which is good for him, and it's probably going to keep his career alive by a little bit of success, I think, in Ohio State. So he's going to be okay, just as long as he's okay somewhere else. Don't come here. I don't know, right?
Yeah. It's just comical. They bring him in, who doesn't use a lot of tight ends, and they let who's Brian Hartline go, who was their wide receiver coach, who helped develop a lot of these damn good wide receivers you're taking a look at, like JSN up in Seattle. He's arguably might be a top 4 wide receiver in the NFL right now. And then you let that guy walk out of your program, and you bring in Artie Smith to develop the next crop of stud receivers at Ohio State. Whew, it's comical.
The guy that had no receivers is going to coach receivers. All right.
I love it.
Let me move on. Tortilla says this Penn State hasn't been good since JPJ left, Mike.
I hear a lot about this Penn State program. I don't know who they are. I'm a big Hoosiers fan over here. Go Hoosiers!
Tyrone, it was after that Somber said I couldn't go 24 hours. Hey, it's all right, man. You can say JPJ all you want here, baby. JPJ is the dude. He's going to be here for some time. We're going to pay him some money, and he's going to shut down some wide receivers for us. No problems here, man. Cody says Ohio State offense coordinator said, no, I don't need wide receivers. I'll get John Smith to come back to college.
Oh, Christ.
Ty says Ohio State will be, and they will. They will be just fine. I think that they will. Ty says this. I think DK will cook up in the West Coast offense. And also, guys, one thing you got to remember as well, looking at the schedule, again, we got the NFC South, we got the AFC South, we got our divisions, and then we have the first place schedule off all the other divisions in the one oddball NFC division. So it's not the most difficult schedule ever in the world. Listen, I'm not going to say it's an easy schedule because, again, we obviously been struggling lately. We're trying to improve, but at the end of the day, this is a nice schedule for this year's team. I do think, again, you got the AFC South, which got your Tennessees. Jacksonville obviously is doing good. Houston's doing good. The Colts are totally beatable, in my opinion. Then you go to the NFC South, guys. This is arguably the weakest division in the league, with the Falcons, the Buccaneers, the Saints, and the Panthers. Your division teams, you should be, you got that down. And then again, we'll have the first place teams from the AFC East, the AFC West, and the NFC East. So not that it could be a lot more difficult of a schedule, guys. If you think about it, it's a nice schedule for where we are, what we're trying to do, kind of get a feel for where this team is going to go next. And then next year we'll be into the NFC West again with the San Francisco's teams like that. A really good division that took 3 teams to the playoffs this year, and then also we'll be down. We'll move down to the AFC West as well. So again, it's a doable schedule. It's doable. I don't hate it. I don't fear it. I think it's going to give us a good opportunity to get our feet wet and kind of get moving forward with this team. We'll see what we get, guys. And I do think we'll land on our feet this year. I don't think that we're going to have 3 wins. Come on. That's not even a realistic. The Steelers just don't have 3-win seasons. I don't care who the coaches are. It's a good system. It just is. We're going to land on our feet, guys. Maybe, who knows? We'll see what we get. But we will certainly. I'm getting some kind of note here. Malachi Fields, holy F. One of my sources just sent that. I don't know what that's regarding. Mike, Google what's going on with Malachi Fields real quick. I don't know if this is something breaking. I don't know what's going on. Malachi Fields, what the F or holy F he did say. So we'll check into that as I do continue to move up on the board here. We'll go right here. Cody says this. Whoa, Tortilla mentioned the best college team ever, Penn State. That made me itch. Tyrone says, man, Mike, you see Boston from Washington. He's cold as F.
Oh, yeah, he looks to be a damn good player. I have my eye on him.
I got his eyeball on him. Any scoop? Anything going on with Malachi Fields? Again,
I've seen he's been impressing down at the Senior Bowl.
Maybe that's what because this guy is this is our college expert. Matter of fact, he's going to join us on the show in the near future to talk about the draft. He's the draft expert. He just sent me Malachi Fields, bro. Holy thuggin' shit was the message I got. So I just wanted to know. So he's impressing is what it is the scoop, I guess. All right, let me do scoot forward here a little bit here. I'm sorry. Lance says this. Browns being the Browns hired Monken instead of the head coaches as head coaches in the same. Sorry. Yes, Lance, sorry about that. Tortilla, where is Cornell Tater? He wasn't doing too good. He was here the other day and he didn't give us any shit. He didn't call us piss pukers. He didn't any of these things. He's not here. I haven't seen Tater yet today. Of course, the resident Cleveland Browns fan from across the pond, always here after getting the news about Monken very down yesterday. and we haven't seen him since. Maybe do they do wellness calls over in the United Kingdom? I don't know. Maybe somebody ought to make a phone call. As we did not see. This is the first time I haven't seen from Tater since the Cleveland game.
Yeah.
I mean, how long has that been? It's been months now.
Yeah, he's become like a fixture. I'm worried about the guy.
RB says next season's Pick'em loser should have to motor boat derby. I like that.
You're
Wow,
a sick son of a bitch, RB. I like it.
he is a sick son of a bitch, and I love it because again, if you lose the whole thing, you could motor boat derby while Terrible Titties is playing in the background. That could be it. That could be it.
It would have to be playing, and you have to do it for the whole song. And you have to do it for the whole song.
So 2 minutes and 20 seconds of motorboating or whatever.
Well, we did cut that down just for the Bring It On the Show. There's about 3 minutes worth of song there.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah,
I'm not. I refuse to be in on the picks this time. I'm not doing it. Sorry.
Ty says, laugh my ass off. She might sit on the couch. Steeler Freak John says this, Derpy's titties are bigger than the black chicks on Arthur Mote's podcast. I haven't seen these chicks. I have to check them out.
Holy shit.
They got big old bitties, huh? Gotta check them out. Lindsay says, don't disrespect me, Tyrone. Cody says this Ohio State's offensive coordinator said we're gonna run the ball more. I'm sure they love that in Ohio State. We're gonna run the ball more, something that I'm sure they don't want to do. Lindsay says you're the only one that dates Browns fans. Corey said yeah, my good.
I'm just laughing at the Steeler Freaks comment. I just can't get over it.
Don't drink that, Corey says. So Sanders is gonna up perennial injury and lose. Cool. I don't care. Laugh my ass off. Tyrone says low blow right there. Bet Tortilla says worst kink ever. Lindsay says you literally said I'll sit on his dirty ass couch. Cody says where the F you guys find these people? I've never met a Browns fan, but you know what? I only live an hour and 40 minutes away, and I've never met a Browns fan either. It's truly incredible. People, you know what? I'm lying. Every once in a while, there's a weirdo.
Right, you see somebody with a Browns coat on,
and you're like, they're lost. Obviously, they don't belong here.
Is that somebody like you expect them to have Ohio plates? Maybe they're driving through and they have to
then
stop
you
and
give,
get some, and then no, it's they.
And then you give them the wrong directions and go your own way, like nothing ever happened.
That's exactly right.
Cody, I'm sorry, Steeler Freak John. He says this: I would date a Browns fan even if counted against my 1,000 hours of community. I wouldn't date a Browns fan even if it counted against my 1,000 hours of community service. Tyrone, he says you in Texas is goofy. Also Tortilla says Tyrone likes girls wearing Jerry Judy jerseys, so when he wears his JPJ jersey, everyone knows his girl's locked up for real.
That's clever.
That's game ball material. Game ball material there. Still Freak Cap. Cody says those jerseys are on discount year round, so people buy them and give them to people who don't watch football. I like it. Danny says this had about 8 inches of snow, nothing compared to you guys, unusual for Oklahoma. But I was gonna say, I did ask Danny about that earlier. I'm kind of curious because again, it's like 2/3 of the country was affected by this storm, and that's kind of mind-blowing when you think about 380 million Americans. 2/3 of that, come on, that's a lot of people. A lot of people affected by this most recent storm. Hope everyone's doing okay. Corey says this: I don't want any defense staff from Dallas. They had the worst defense under McCarthy. I know, and this is a lot of these names are coming from the Dallas under him in Dallas too. Corey. Cody says, "Sweet home Aliquippa." That's right, baby. Sweet home Aliquippa, the home of champions, of course. I always go on and on about them, so let me move on a little bit today. Tyrone says we already got our DC. Kenneth, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Kenneth Jones on the terrible board, my man. I hope things are going well for you. Tortilla says, I hope they had some good stats. One year I never looked, but agree at Corey. Let me grab a couple more guys. We're going to get into some topics here. RB says, respectfully, I get the record thing a little bit, but McCarthy shouldn't be lumped in with Tomlin and Harbaugh. McCarthy actually kept up the times and kept modern schemes. And you know what? I don't disagree with you in that sense. When you start to peel back to that layer, you are making a great point, actually. But again, at the end of the day, it's just statistically, the easiest way to go about it is saying that these guys literally have the same, almost the the same records. They literally have almost the same
It's
playoff
almost
records. They
it's
literally
almost
have
creepy.
the same percentage. They literally
Yeah.
have the last time they won championships was that same point of their career, and they literally have went the last 15 years not doing all that much, guys. Probably underachieving, if you will. I think is safe to say. Go ahead, Fitch.
I was just agreeing with you. I was just saying it's creepy how close the numbers are between these three guys. Like they're right there, and all against each other in the exact same league. It's not like these are dudes that did it 10 years apart from each other.
Right.
They did it at the exact same time, and that's just a wild stat. It's one of those things that we'll probably never see again. And it's a mind-blowing thing.
TC says at Cody, absolutely. Sweet Home Aliquippa, baby. That's right, all day. Quiptown, Danny says this. Don't matter if you drive a Pinto or Corvette or how you run the race. If you can't win the race, Tom and McCarthy comparison, Rooney and Jones, the same. Cody, that's right. Aliquippa Mike Ditka. Don't stop there. Aliquippa Darrell Rivas. Aliquippa Ty Law. Aliquippa even Tony Dorsett. Again, in the way that the boundary is set up between Aliquippa and Hopewell, Tony Dorsett actually lived on the other side of Aliquippa from Hopewell. He literally had an Aliquippa address. Tony Dorsett in the city parameters of Aliquippa up on Monaco Road is where it's called. And it's actually on the opposite side of where Hopewell is, but it's somehow it falls into that jurisdiction. And Tony Dorsett.
It's the township, Hopewell Township,
it's the township,
and then the city within the township. But the township itself all has that address of Aliquippa.
And it's funny because it wraps around Aliquippa.
Yeah, right.
And on the opposite side of Aliquippa is where he was at. Actually, very close to Aliquippa. Matter of fact, if you just went a little further up the road, he would have been in Aliquippa. But also, if you think Hopewell, you're thinking Paul Puzlesny.
Yep.
So it's certainly a rich area for football players coming out of. But Tony Dorsett could have been the fourth. And again, Aliquippa is the high school with the most NFL Hall of Famers from one high school. It's a very small high school. It's an old steel mill town high school. But at the end of the day, nobody in this country has a high school that has more players in the NFL Hall of Fame. So always love our quips here, baby. Always love our quips. And there's always so much talent going out, guys. I'm seeing a lot of these kids they're getting in Yale and Princeton and schools like these now. So keep your eye open for them Aliquippa boys. They are always success on the football field. We'll be certainly seeing more of them as time goes by. No two ways about that. Mike Ditka Tortilla says, where the skies are black and yellow. That's right. Tyrone says Steelers hire vet O-line coach James Campen. Is that true? Hire. And the thing is, they want to hire a couple head offensive coaches. Yeah, offensive line coaches. That was the last thing I heard, right, Mike?
Yeah, the Campen he was from Green Bay, and the line coach who coached down in Dallas that a lot of the Cowboys players really like, and Steelers are looking for him to come on the staff as well. So it looks like he'll be like an assistant offensive line coach.
All right, there you go, guys. So again, we're looking for multiple people to help with that offensive line. RB says this: Tallman and Harbaugh have done the same shit for 15 years. McCarthy hasn't. No one brings up McCarthy hasn't. He only won one playoff game in the same amount of time that I get your point. Again, you're peeling back layers that people weren't peeling back yet. So you're not wrong. I think that it's just hard for people to see eye to eye, but you're not wrong. But again, if you do look at their numbers topically, it's very similar. But let me continue on your comment. And no one brings up McCarthy spent 3/4 of his career with the two biggest narcissists in football history. RB says, I'm sorry. RB follows it up by saying Rodgers and Jerry Jones. Tyrone says, dude, I'm dreaming, or we actually got a staff. It's getting there. We're building it. We're going to get to some names here in just a moment. Again, I don't want to get too far behind, guys. You guys are killing it this week, doing awesome. Again, keep them comments coming. And again, I do eventually get to them all if I don't get to them on the show. But amazing week, guys. Numbers were fantastic. We want to thank you so much for everything. You guys truly are the engine that keeps this thing going. Let me go up here to Ty. Says, bye-bye. Smith, Austin, Meyer. Let's go. Cody says, like MVS, the NFL swings both ways. Just Learning says, no, Jerry Jones only cared about money and brand. He said so. Oh, absolutely. Jerry Jones he's a nut.
He's a shark, no doubt about it.
Tortilla says, it was all a dream. I used to read a word off Aliquippa, bro. RB says, this Tyrone, I'm being told we will have 2 offensive line coaches, an interior offensive line and an exterior offensive line. How about that? That's what I'm hearing too. Bingo says, I wish I had another set of hands so I could give them titties 4 thumbs down. I got to be honest, that's game ball worthy too, guys.
That's the old
I
Chappelle Show reference there. It's good stuff.
wish I had 4 hands.
4 thumbs down.
I like it. Let's scoot up here to Cody. Cody says, Country Road, take me home to the place where I belong. Aliquippa. Mountain Mamas.
Michael Ditka.
Michael Ditka. Darrell Reeves. Ty Law.
Tony Dorsett.
No Tony Dorsett. TC says, Aliquippa football, baby, all day. All we do is win. That's right. Just Learning says this. Where is Mike Munchak, coach? He was really good out on the offense with the offensive line. Tyrone says Steelers informed Saints they will interview Scott Tolzien for the offensive coordinator position. Tyrone says, I'm happy we got a staff. Lindsay, Montour in the house all day, baby. Spartans, just right up the Parkway, very close to the studio. Stairway to Tomlin. This is what's being said. Tortilla. Mark Malone, what's up? Always great seeing Mark Malone. He said, things are going to be better, man. For God's sake, there's a reason nobody is knocking on Tomlin's door. Tyrone says Mike McCarthy 1-1. Interview Pittsburgh Steelers. End of days says great seeing you. End of days, always great seeing you on the terrible board. Tomlin is, and that's he's going to take. I can't imagine in a million years he takes anything at this point. It seems to me that he's going to take a year off, figure out what he wants to do, and if he wants, it seems that he's probably going to kind of come back in the same capacity as Bill Cowher to me. I personally don't see him joining another team. He's coached 20 years. He's made a lot of money, had success. Again, some people call him a first ballot Hall of Famer, which after what happened to Bill Belichick, I don't know if that's going to be the case, but we'll get to that more in just a couple minutes here. But I can 100% see him taking this year off and then getting back into on the level again with Coach Cowher and what's the word I'm looking for? Not an announcer, but an analyst,
like a commentator or analyst.
A commentator, yes. That could be a very, very possible route for Mike Tomlin, guys.
It's definitely a lucrative route for him. I know for a fact that ESPN or one of these other big ones, CBS Sports Today, one of those would pay him serious cash to be an analyst, at that 12 o'clock pregame. And he'd probably shine.
And here's the thing, there's people that's not as good and you don't even want to hear from that actually.
Oh, I know. Right.
They get the jobs and you're like, how does this guy get the job?
Right.
Mike Tomlin could be good. People will like him. Again, he's a likable guy and I think would do just fine. In my personal opinion,
a behind the desk guy, he'd be great.
I think this is the route that Mike Tomlin takes. But again, that's just my take. We will see and keep up with that as things happen. I'm going to go right here. I'm just going to get right past Tomlin. It's taking a year off. All right, here you go, guys. We're getting back to these songs. Tortilla says, feels like I'm knocking on Aliquippa. I like it. CTC says things about Aliquippa is you don't hear the community trashing their coach when they lose. You don't. And you know what? Well, because they never lose. So let's we'll just leave it right there. But we do trash the referees when we lose. I got to say that. It's always their fault, them bastards. Mark Malone says we're finally going to have an offense again, man. Kind of important nowadays. You need it, right? This is a scoring league. It's an offensive league. You got to be able to score and move the ball and maybe have guys that fill every position on your team regularly and do more than what we did and a whole lot of things. But again, we are in a year of change. We will hope and see if those things all play out. Lindsay says Quip is a high school who is really going to hear about it unless you live there.
I mean, for a very long time, when you watched Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football, and they do those introductions, and Ty Law or Darrell Reeves,
it was always Aliquippa High School.
It was always Aliquippa, and it would always become a talking point on the telecast. You would hear Al Michaels. Well, just to clarify, Aliquippa High School, and then he'd start naming the names that you were naming earlier every time. So you did hear that for probably 15 years in the NFL that those guys played back to back. Every time there was a Monday night game or national televised game, you did hear Aliquippa get mentioned. And I'm not saying, obviously, that it's going to be in every, it's not Ohio State, okay? But in terms of high school, Ryan, you nailed it. It's more Hall of Famers have gone to school there than anywhere else in the United States. And that's very significant.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes. Let me move on though. Great point, Finch. Thank you for that. TC says winning takes time, and you have to have. And that's what I'm saying. Go down. When people want to talk about, just the way the coaches treat the players today, there's a reason Aliquippa is always good. They're not, listen, they're tough. It's a tough community. It's the environment's tough. These kids are raised tough, and they're talked to on the football field when they practice to be tough, and they're taught to be tough. And things nowadays are so well, we can't. It doesn't matter now, Aliquippa. These guys, they're tough. They're talked to be tough. They're taught to be tough, and they become tough. And that's why that football team is always successful. It's not about feelings in Aliquippa. It's about winning. And at the end of the day, if you're competing in competitive sports, I think that should certainly be high up on your list of things you might want to do. But that's it. There's just no pansies. It's not a pansy town. These people they're tough-minded people. And again, some of these kids, their way out of Aliquippa is to be successful in sports. And I gotta love, again, our pride right here. Where we're living is Aliquippa. They are always in the hunt. Again, state championships, getting back to the Whippeal championship for 13 straight years, whatever it was. There's nothing that compares in Western PA. Let me move on, though. Yinzer Joe says, can we get it? Yes. Mike, I thought of this last night. This was, and then Mike disappears. I thought of this last night. The second, do you see how these things happen, Finch? The very second I say his name. Yes, I do want to get a terrible titty t-shirt. That is certainly high on the list of things that we're going to do here, guys. I'm going to work on that today, as a matter of fact, and we will, in case you missed the terrible titty song, referring about to Derpy's moment in the sun here on the show in season 8. We will play that at the end of the show if you want to check that out. If you missed it earlier, but again, one of the, I don't know if I want to say highlights, but one of the moments that we'll remember forever.
Yes, one of the memorable scenes, the memorable moments of season 8.
One of the most memorable.
Maybe not seasons. A highlight, yes, but
yes,
yeah.
We will get on those t-shirts, Yinzer Joe. RB says, yeah, that's what I'm seeing, who I'm seeing too. Tyrone said, I'm very happy with what McCarthy did. At this moment, I am too. He's doing all the right things. He's saying all the right things. And again, at the end of the day, I think people here in Pittsburgh are generally just going to like him because and I don't want to say just because he's a Pittsburgh guy. Did you watch the interview? He's a personality that could have grown up in next door to me. That's a person that I could have.
He's very folksy.
He's very folksy, and he could be somebody that could have been your next door neighbor that you've been talking to across the lawn for the last 20 years of your life. He's just a Pittsburgher.
That is one thing I will say about Bill Cowher and Mike McCarthy, as opposed to Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin, obviously very well spoken, very articulate, but not. He came off as hard and cold. And I have seen interviews where he does warm up and he seems a little more like a regular guy, but I'm talking about his stage presence, how he presents himself to the media when he's doing his actual job of doing, these sort of conferences and interviews. He always comes off as that hard, cold guy. And I respect that about Mike Tomlin, but McCarthy does have that neighbor next door, warm quality like Bill Cowher had. Like you could chat with him about football, but then also talk about fishing. You know what I mean? That's where I get from McCarthy. And I think that's a big part of his likability. And just the fact that, once again, like Cowher, he is from the area, definitely gives some credence to him on a personality and on a personal level.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Makes him likable.
Let's move up a little bit, and then I am going to get some topics here, guys. Again, I don't want to miss out on a lot of messages. We'll get to this part of the week. I'm ready to catch up. I truly am. I'm going to go right here to Somber. Somber says this: the Raiders plan to interview Seattle offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak over the weekend and then make a decision on their head coach. Per sources, Jeremy Fowler.
That's a name we were talking about here.
We were.
Kubiak, yeah. Maybe he'd be a guy that we could he'd be the type of guy that might be something to talk to about an OC here as well. So
I just don't know if anything the Raiders are going to do are going to fix that team.
Again, it's not good.
They're going to bring in this kid from Indiana. He's going to get murdered. I just, again, the Raiders, I can't focus on them because they're terrible.
And they're having some real issues with Allegiant Stadium now with, the funding and all that stuff that went in the Las Vegas area for that stadium. And it's starting to cause some serious problems with the fan base in the city.
Yeah.
So who knows? The Raiders are the kind of team that when they run into stadium issues or they have some sort of debate with a stadium, they just pack up and move. They've done it about 10 different times. So that could turn into a really terrible situation in the desert there in the next 5 to 10 seasons.
They'll be the Reno Raiders by the time you get down there, Finch.
The Reno Raiders.
Let me just scoot along here, Dan. That's insane. Tortilla says. Also, Cody says, hail to Quip. That's right, baby. All day. On one today, Lindsay says, Tortilla, the FedEx Ohio State hoodies about about to be heat. Tyrone says JPJ to GOAT. Pay him, Tyrone says. Also, Somber, I never said you couldn't say JPJ. It was just $20, 24-hour challenge is what Somber is saying to Tyrone. Let me grab a couple more here, guys. We are going to get to some of these topics. I do have some names we're going to talk about, some hires, some people we are looking at, some interviews. Let me grab TC here. He says Jeff Fisher's Titans got beat by a 63-year-old coach who was a Dick Vermeil.
Yeah.
Greatest show on turf. That
Legend.
coaching staff was old heads. Again, if you're going to talk about older coaching staffs, that greatest show on turf, they weren't too bad.
They were one of my favorite teams as a kid. Favorite non-Steeler like teams. You watched them and they were exciting. They
Marshall
were fun to
Falk
watch,
was such a
and he was
joy
great.
to watch.
Yeah.
I
And you know
remember
what? Dick Vermeil was a joy too. He gave great interviews. He was emotional, and the old man would run up and down the field. He was great.
I remember watching Marshall Falk in college, and I just like, oh my God, this guy's gonna be amazing. And he was. He did not disappoint in the pros. Of course, got drafted by the Colts
And was pretty good there on his come up. And then the Rams, man, they found him and they used him in the best way they could. He was a wonderful player.
Amazing guy, amazing talent. Lindsay says, yeah, because your ass ignored me when I asked. Somber says, it's Senior Bowl stuff. Ryan Malachi Fields is a wild. Okay, that's what I mean. I figured I knew he's a guy for coming out of college. We do have the Senior Bowl coming up, guys, on Saturday. Also, guys, if you don't want to miss the Pro Bowl, which you might if you blink, they're putting it on Tuesday. This year. Yes, that's right. The Pro Bowl has become such a nothing that it's not even on the weekend. It's just
literally the slowest day of the week.
It's what it is, Finch, is they literally are putting it in the spot so they could lump it in with Super Bowl week because it's become such a non event itself.
Yeah.
They're lumping it in to make it part of Super Bowl week.
Isn't Tuesday traditionally media day as well?
I don't recall, but yes,
feel like that's the
they'll
case,
certainly be in there, and things are going to start getting heating up, guys. As we get through this weekend, we will be down to a week come this Sunday to Super Bowl 60 between the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks. Of course, let's get to some different topics, categories, names, things as such. We will get back to the board in just a moment, guys. This is some things that we do have right here in front of me. I'm going to pull. You know what? I'm going to take a moment to do this. All right, so the news that we did talk briefly about this on the board. Mike McCarthy is expected to bring back three coaches from Mike Tomlin's staff. The coaches that he plans to bring back are these guys. Linebacker coach Scott McCurley, who was also worked with Mike McCarthy in Dallas. So there's another name. Again, you're starting to see a pattern with the people that he's hiring. So that is Scott McCurley. He is, again, the linebacker coach being retained by Mike McCarthy from Mike Tomlin's coaching staff. Quarterback coach, guys, Tom Arth. Everybody, that's the name that we're familiar with. We'll get back to that in just 1 second. Mike, think on that name for a moment. And then secondary coach Jared Alexander. I think a lot of people like Coach Alexander. He is also being retained by Coach McCarthy from Coach Tomlin's coaching staff. Again, linebacker coach Scott McCurley, quarterback coach Tom Arth, and again, secondary coach Jared Alexander. Mike, you like retaining these people, and what's your take on Tom Arth, considering the state of our quarterbacking right now in Pittsburgh?
Tom Arth has only been here 1 year. He was here last year. He had a relationship with Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy from, guess what? I think it was Mike McCarthy from, guess what? Their time in Green Bay. So it does no surprise that he will be here. If they get Tolzien from the Saints, and he comes in as I see him working with the quarterbacks as well. So it's just another voice on the team that he is familiar with, and I'm going to trust Mike McCarthy when it comes to hiring coaches to help develop quarterbacks because he's had a very good track record. Alexander coming back for a defensive back coach, I really like because you saw the emergence of JPJ this year and James Pierre. They took their games to completely new highs this year. So I like that retain right there. And the linebacker coach, I don't have a problem with that one either.
So, I mean, I think it's safe to say that we're seeing a lot of, a lot of people coming from just people that Mike knows personally that he's worked with, again, Dallas, with Green Bay. Again, 25 years ago, Omar Khan is even a connection, but obviously not relevant to the question. But so do we continue to go this route, Mike? I mean, we are going to have to fill all these positions. We're making way. We're getting people in spots. I don't know if you're satisfied with what's going on. I'm not quite sure what to make of it yet. I have to sit back and look at all these people's numbers, look at what they did. But it seems to me, Mike, is it safe to say that a lot of this is going based off of folks that Coach McCarthy knows or has worked with?
Yeah, I think that's how all of his hires are going to be, and I'm okay with that. These are people that he knows and is trusted in to do their jobs. As long as they come in and do their job well, I don't care. If you're comfortable with someone, and you have a good working relationship, and they were successful in your staff on the team that was successful, and you think they're going to be successful now, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. I'm all for it.
And then we did say earlier, we did say that we are looking to hire 2 offensive line coaches. We read on the board, 1 interior, 1 exterior on the offensive line. That is something that we're also looking at. A few other names that we have going on that we have information on. The Steelers, they did request to interview a Browns special team coordinator, which just so happens to be Ross Vitrone's brother. Ross Vitrone's older brother, Bubba Vitrone, is being requested by the Steelers to be interviewed for the special teams coordinator. Finch.
Well, when I hear the name Bubba, I just think of Bubba from Mama's Family. So I'm thinking that's the guy that's going to be the coach now.
With the what are they, the overall,
Yeah, the suspenders.
The suspenders, yes.
Yeah, we've been watching a lot of Mama's Family at my house recently.
I love the Mama's Family.
Oh, what a classic show. And just the name
Vinton,
Bubba,
man,
ever since I was a kid, even the name Bubba reminds me of that character.
What about Vinton? He's so funny. What
So
did you
Ken Berry.
do, Mama? He's like,
Hey,
so
Mama,
dumb.
what do you think's going to happen?
They're all like just that hoopty, whatever. Raytown.
Yeah,
They're from
yeah.
Raytown. So, all right, let me do
Freaking
a couple
classic.
more
I'm
here, guys. The
sorry.
Steelers wide receiver coach, of course, Adam Henry from the Bills. That was, I think, news yesterday on the board. Adam Henry, wide receiver coach for the Bills. Let me get into a couple more here. But before I get into a couple more, let me ask you this. Finch, who benefits most from so far? Let's just step away from just a little switch in the conversation briefly. We'll get back to this in a second. Who benefits more presently from this coaching change than anybody else? I'm thinking a player like Pat Freiermuth personally, but who do you guys think benefits the most from Mike McCarthy becoming the head coach compared to guys that were here on the team last year that may not have got the looks, may not have got the carries? Caleb Johnson, again, the rookie last year, his carries went down as the year went on. Who benefits the most from this Mike McCarthy-led Pittsburgh Steelers team?
Caleb Johnson's a good choice there because this is his sophomore year. This is the year you expect him to step it up in his conditioning, in his game, in his practicing, and all that stuff. And, he needs to prove that he's learning the offense. And it'll be good to have an offensive-minded guy like McCarthy, who's shown before that he knows how to bring up young players, right? And then also another person, whoever it is, whoever the quarterback is, no matter who it is, whether Rodgers comes back or it ends up being Will Howard or somebody else, Rudolph, whoever the quarterback is will benefit from having Mike McCarthy there. Mike McCarthy does well with QBs. You said it a little bit before. He's had a couple of really great quarterbacks in the past that he has really advanced their careers in the right direction. And there's no reason to think that whoever is there for us this year will probably see more love from the coaching staff, more love and more benefit from Coach McCarthy than they would have seen from the previous staff.
Mike, how much effort did the Steelers exert trying to retain Kenneth Gainwell? Now, we said yesterday that he fell in the category of the NFL's top 50 for free agents. Him and Isaac Seumalo were the 2 Steelers that did fall into this category. Mike, what's the attempt, and will it happen? And is it even? And again, you're bringing a new coach in a new system. Is it going to be that important to keep a player like Kenneth Gainwell, who was, again, the team MVP last year? What can you say about this guy? He came, he got it done on a team that wasn't doing a whole lot. What's the effort we put into keeping Kenneth Gainwell? And if we do keep him, is he still a vital piece of the puzzle, or does he kind of fit into the whole more as he was, again, where does he go? Every time I ask him a question. So, Finch, I'm going to direct this to you.
Go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead. Yeah.
How much effort do we put into retaining Kenneth Gainwell? Again, team MVP. He's one of the 2 top free agents in the NFL.
Yeah.
How much effort do we put into retaining him? And if we do retain him, does he still come off as the player that he came off of? Or again, does he fit more into the whole and lose more opportunities because hopefully other opportunities start opening for other guys, other positions, and maybe people we bring in or whatnot?
Well, once again, we mentioned Caleb Johnson a few moments ago. He's going to be bumping up into a more pronounced role as running back. However, in today's NFL, you do see a lot of success, unless you have a freak like Derrick Henry. You do see a lot of success with the 1-2 combination. And that's something we've been trying to do in Pittsburgh for the last few seasons with mediocre success at best. But Kenneth Gainwell kind of fits that 1-2 role very well because he does have the speed. And you want Caleb to come in and maybe be that short yard guy. I think it could benefit Gainwell a lot to stay here with us. He could see some real action with this offense, and we should definitely make the effort to keep the darn guy. He's already here. He knows how we do things, even though it is a new staff and everything. It's gonna be good if he stays here for him and for us. We definitely want to make that effort. And now that he has a little bit of experience, you want him with a guy like Caleb to help him along and to help progress his game further. So the Steelers definitely need to at least try really hard to keep Gainwell, but you also don't want to sell the whole farm to keep one cow. You know what I mean?
All right, there you go, guys. If you look to the bottom of the screen, you haven't seen him in months. Some claim that I have killed him. Some people claim that I have kept him in my basement. None of those are true, unless, of course, this is AI. Wink, wink. Mike, Vanilla Thunder in the house. Mike, would you say hi to everybody? I think everybody's missed you over the past
What up,
70
everybody?
days.
Yeah. As you can tell, I am broadcasting from an undisclosed location. Me and former Vice President Dick
Camp
Cheney.
David.
His corpse is over in the corner over there, but we are safe and secure down here. We are trying to run this show right now off a baked potato, and it's hit or miss right now. But I think we got the hits going right now. Ryan, like you said about Kenneth Gainwell, and like Finch, kind of echo your sentiments. I think the Steelers do need to keep him. They need to retain him. He's a proven commodity.
Mike, is Johnson ever going to get a fair shot? Let's say, because again, you went from a Harris to Warren backfield. So then Harris moves on, and now you have a Kenneth Gainwell backfield and a Warren backfield. At what point does because again, if not worked into the system, we could be going in season 3 with Caleb Johnson. Mike, does he become a bigger part of this team offensively? And let's say the two guys in front of him are having a successful career, as did Jalen Warren and Najee, and again, Jalen Warren and Kenneth. Is there going to be an opportunity for Caleb Johnson to get in there, Mike? And if he does get that opportunity, do you see him taking advantage in the sense that we didn't see him taking great leaps and bounds when he played last year? Again, a few big mistakes early. Wasn't really impressed with him on returns. Is Caleb Johnson going to be a piece here one day or no?
Early returns are saying no. He did not look confident out there. Like he knew I don't want to say like he didn't know the playbook. He looked very hesitant.
Yeah.
Transitioning from college to the NFL. Some guys that might take that year of, failure and to go train, figure out what I need to do to be a better pro. What do I got to change in my game? Working with, a more or less a running coach to like, how do I get more explosive? How can I change that first step to hit the hole faster? Working on those little mechanic issues that you have time to work on in the offseason that you really don't have all that time during the season to work on, because you're just trying to get ready for the game, trying to get ready for the game plan, so stuff like that. So if he works on those little things and the way they designed the run game, he could be successful. Hey, we're just going to have you be a north-south runner. Here's the hole. See the hole, hit the hole. Something like that. Because you go and look at his performance at the combine. His short yardage splits were not that impressive. He was very slow off the blocks in all of his drills. Explosiveness wasn't there. And you saw it last year. He did not look that explosive. Maybe make him a north-south runner, lose some weight, change your mechanics of your run game, and see what you can do. But he's going to have a tough battle, because we know Jalen Warren's a tough runner. We saw what Kenny Gainwell can do. He can do it. A lot of things in this offense. Now you got to find a role for Caleb Johnson. Jalen Warren might be a little guy, but he's still a powerful runner. So even using him as that short yardage back, you're not that explosive, and you weren't really running people over. Where are you going to fit in this offense? And that's going to be a challenge for the coaching staff. They have, OTAs, mini camps, training camps to figure out a role for him in this offense, how he's going to fit in there.
All right, it's going to be. I love your take, but I'm already tired of looking at your face. So Just kidding.
Fine, then I'm leaving.
No, just stick around. Let me grab a couple of these messages
How
here before
dare
we do move on. I do want to say this. If you want to look into this, though, Mike RB did say on the board, he says, my source just texted me, McCarthy has informed the front office he does not, repeat, not want Aaron Rodgers back. So this could be scoop, guys. Mike will look into that. I do want to say welcome to Stephen P. on the board. He says, Arth, McCurley, Alexander, I'm fine with them being kept. Welcome back to the board. Stephen, great to have you, man. Great to see you. I hope all is well with you, sir. Let me grab a couple more. Let's jump on a couple more topics here as Mike does look this information up. Again, RB is saying that McCarthy has informed the front office. He does not. And I got to be honest with you. When they asked him about Aaron Rodgers at the press conference, I wasn't convinced when he said that he would love to have him back or whatever that answer was. I think that was a nice way to say it because again,
he was taking the political route. Like you can't just
friends.
say "F that
Right.
guy." Yeah, you
F
can't
this
do that.
guy.
Yeah.
He's the new coach. He's the new guy.
He's not going to fit in our
Right.
system, so we're not going to go with it. You can't alienate Aaron like that.
So
He's
that
too
to
big a
me
star.
seems like that's how that played out. But again, Mike
Yes.
is looking into that as we speak. Thank you for the intel to RB, my man. Always got some good scoop. RB says I wouldn't trust a thing special needs. Noah String Bean says, yeah, Mike, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm still looking.
Okay. Let me grab a couple more. I'll grab a couple more. Lindsay said the only coach I really cared about staying was Danny Smith, and he's gone. He was just such a likable guy with the bubble gum and everything, you know? How can you not like him?
I miss him patrolling the sideline.
I was hoping they would keep Dunbar, the D-line coach, and the running back coach. I always forget his name, Eddie Faulkner. Because I like the way, he helped develop Jalen Warren and got, Kenny Gainwell to a new level. Those were guys I was hoping that would come back.
All right, so guys, let me jump in real quick while Michael's looking that up. These are some numbers about Patrick Graham, of course, our new defensive coordinator, brought over from the hated Raiders. Again, a team that finished last in the whole league. I don't know. Let me look in some numbers. Let me share them with you here, guys. So Patrick Graham, the defensive coordinator in Miami. I think he was a coordinator. It's not giving me. I just know in 2019 he was working with the defense in Miami, who had the lowest rankings overall. I do know when 20 and 21 when he was with the Giants, they were 4th in passes defended, 12th in interceptions. That was in 21. Back in 20, his defense with the Giants was 9th in scoring overall. Since he's been with the Raiders these last 3 years, guys, 23, 24, 25, and 23. Patrick Graham, our new defensive coordinator, of course, guys, he was in top 10 points allowed and top half in takeaways and sacks. In 2024, 15th in total yards allowed. And finally, just last season, he was 14th in total defense, 25th in scoring defense. Just some numbers about our new defensive coordinator, guys. Of course, Patrick Graham being hired, the defensive coordinator from the Raiders. The hated Raiders is the new DC here. Just wanted to give you some numbers. Nothing fantastic. It wasn't terrible. So at the end of the day, it seems like another Mike McCarthy signing to me. Maybe he's one of these guys that could get the best out of their coaches and get the results. And when it's ran a certain way under his guys, maybe will be successful. But again, I'm seeing a trend. A lot of people he knows, a lot of people he works with, seem to be a lot of these people that are coming in, at least for interviews, a couple of them being hired as this process does continue. And I think a lot of people are feeling a lot better, as I'm seeing Tyrone is already saying, already built better. So again, it's a process. We will wait and see. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, guys. Everybody's trying to make their team better. Everybody's trying to improve in this offseason, except for the Browns, of course. For whatever reason, they tend to go backwards. And again, we're there for it. Let's jump back on some different things here, Finch. Let's go with this. Big Ben says you got to give the guy a chance. A lot of people were still, I think, feeling a little bit better because, again, I think he crushed, I think was the word they used about the press conference, the presser, the media availability, whatever they would call it nowadays. He crushed it. And Big Ben is saying this, give this guy a chance, guys. It's nuts. It's nuts for hating on Mike McCarthy. Don't you guys want to score some more points is what Ben says. Finch, is it going to get to a point where everyone, I think they're not accepting him. But again, you're used to something that's been away for a certain period of time. How long do you think it's going to take for Steeler Nation to embrace Mike McCarthy? For me, the press conference really did the trick for me.
Yeah, a couple more of those is probably what it's going to take. You know what's really going to help is how he drafts.
Yeah.
That is the next big hurdle, right? well, after picking your coaching staff, which we're almost done with, but that obviously is a huge hurdle as well. But to really see what the fruit of your labor is, the draft is going to be a huge thing. And if he goes and he drafts, Joe Blow from, from some terrible school in the first round, who's yet another, linebacker or something, I don't think people are going to love that. They want him to make the right choices that are going to benefit the team this year. And I think that's going to be a real turning point in how he is seen in our eyes. If he goes and he blows it, you're going to start hearing a lot of criticism. But as of right now, he just needs to keep doing what he's doing, having these kind of personality-based conversations with the media, especially local media, and winning the local media. That's something Tomlin did very early. Was he won over media members?
Absolutely.
That's a big part of that first year of being a big head coach or a manager or whatever in any of the major sports. Is you got to deal with these media members every single day now for as long as you work with the company. You need to win them over, and he's doing that. And once he really establishes and talks more about what his ideas are going to be for the team outside of just the basic, score more points, win more games, I think that the draft is going to be what really sells him to the Pittsburgh, to the Steelers United.
And I do know the last thing that I did here regarding what Mike is looking up, I heard that Pittsburgh hopes for clarity on Aaron Rodgers' future within the next month or so was the word to it as I was gathering notes to talk about this morning for the show. That was the last I heard. Mike, any scoop on that?
I haven't seen any.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been searching around. Haven't found any yet.
But as I said, it was known that Pittsburgh was going to give him about a month. Again, I don't think you could wait around. You could play around this. You can't play this game with him again. You can't let him go to Las Vegas. You can't let him go off to a retreat. You can't let him get married. You can't play the Aaron Rodgers game. You got to decide what you're going to do. Again, it's a new year. You got to start cutting some of the excess fat, some of the things that, again, were problems along the way as you want to improve this team and get back to its winning ways, guys, the Steelers. So we will keep an eye on that. Some reports saying that McCarthy is not interested in continuing with Aaron Rodgers. Also, the note that I have is they were going to give him roughly a month. So that's still up in the air. We're keeping our eye on that. A few other things, guys, as we do move along. Big Ben, let me say this, Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Steelers players, this is from the locker room, guys, are fired up. They're fired up, excited after meeting Mike McCarthy. So again, kind of going into the last question, we said, how are the fans going to handle it? That's the next big thing, because again, the Mike Tomlin certainly won the locker room over. He certainly had it won over for years, if not decades, guys. Ben, I'm sorry. Players are fired up after getting to meet him. Of course, you did see Joey Porter Jr. down there at the press conference. You've seen Alex Highsmith, a handful of guys, high-profile guys, veterans. What's it going to take for him to win over the locker room ultimately? Because at the end of the day, it's a different guy. It's a different coach. It's a different personality. Is it going to be as easy or difficult or the same for the players as it is for the fans in Steeler Nation? Vince?
We're not inside the locker room, so it's really hard to truthfully answer that question. However, I do think that as you said, we've already seen a couple people mention that he feels like that they're pumped up, they're fired up to have this guy. He just needs to keep doing that. Whatever it is he's doing in the locker room or in these small meetings they're having, we say locker room, but whatever he's doing to get these players into that mindset, he needs to keep doing it, and he needs to do it fast. Because losing your team is the first step to exiting your job. And we just saw that with Tomlin and Harbaugh and those guys. They lost their team the last few weeks. And what are they doing now? They're not coaching the team they were on. So McCarthy needs to win his team. It sounds like he already has started to do that. And the way to do that is to treat them like men, treat them as the football players they are, like professionals, and to, just have a winning mentality. Right. Preach the winning way. The whole standard is a standard thing. Well, now teach that the standard is winning. And as long as you have a winning attitude, that is going to go a long way going into the season and towards building up that trust and that love and that what's the word I'm looking at? Camaraderie that is needed between a coaching staff and all 53 plus members of the team itself.
Let me jump in real quick here. I do want to welcome B Rich to the show. B Rich, we currentently do not. However, it's in the works. It's in the works, as Tortilla did mention in the terrible board. Real soon. Please stick around with us, and you'll be able to call in real soon. Or, as a matter of fact, within the next couple of weeks, I would say that we're going to be having calls regularly here on the show, and you'll be able to do that and have that option. So do stick with us. I'm very excited about adding that to the show. So I can't wait to hear what everybody has to say in that way as well. So I do want to welcome B Rich to the board. Welcome. Glad to have you. Great to see you. Let me jump on a couple other things here, guys. I want to talk about the quarterbacks here in Pittsburgh just for a few moments, as we're kind of at that point of the show here where we're going to switch directions a little bit. Let me start with something that Ben says. This is where Ben's pissing me off. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. He's just a nice guy. That's the only thing that's really pissing me off about it. But Big Ben is rooting for the Patriots to win, so the quarterback could break his record. Why does Ben do that? And I mean, he has no control or power. It's just his opinion. And
he knows that statement is going to fire up Pittsburgh fans, and it'll go viral, and it'll get clicks, and of course, the like button and all that bullshit. That's what it is. He's being he's rage baiting us.
And of course, he's referring to the youngest quarterback ever to win a Super Bowl, and certainly Drake May is going to have that opportunity. If the Patriots do win, he's going to break Ben's record and be the youngest quarterback. And he's also going to give the Patriots a 7th Super Bowl. So again, if you're still up in the air trying to figure out who it is that you want to put your witchcraft spells or whatever the hell you do going into the Super Bowl on, I would certainly go against New England. It certainly doesn't benefit us at all. But Big Ben is saying, I look forward to him. Good luck. Hopefully he could break my record, which again, I don't think anybody truly wants. Maybe it's Ben also kind of playing politics and just saying what he needs to say. But at the end of the day, nobody wants to see that shit, right? Right, Mike?
Fuck Big Ben. I've said that this overrated motherfucker.
Here we go.
The organization down, choked away so many players. Fuck that guy. What did he ever win?
You know what? Where's Vanilla Thunder anyway? There's no Skull, and I can't even listen to you the same. I'm staring at you.
Hey, brother, listen, man. The Lot Lizards, they got a little frisky. Let's just say
you're not selling it, bro.
No,
not buying.
It was worth a shot.
That was the worst Vanilla Thunder impression I've ever heard.
That was not a great Vanilla Thunder. I got to admit, he's got to get back on track. He's rusty.
Lizards.
The Lot Lizards. All right. Okay. They were taking it. Let's just say the Lot Lizards took a lot out of me.
I don't even know how he makes that L sound with his mouth when he does that.
He has
lizards.
He's got that that Harry Carey frame of a little bit of Tom Brokaw in there,
The Lot Lizards.
That
lizards
sound there.
From
you know how when our Latino friends they roll that R in that's what Mike does with this L. I can't make that sound to save my life.
You know what? You try to bring a little fun and enjoyment to the show.
It probably takes a couple shots of booze too to really roll the L that way.
Honestly, I'm gonna go find Aunt Peaches.
Sombra says you have a throat coach.
No. I am the throat coach because I am the
throat coach.
Goat, all right. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking too. Let's move on here, guys. We're talking quarterbacks. Of course, Nussmeier is a name out of LSU. Mike, you certainly lost interest in him. He was the name that you liked at the beginning of the college football season, but there's connections. A lot of people were talking about the connections with him and Mike McCarthy. That's a name I want to bring up, Mike. Kyler Murray, because again, early on the board, people ask who is going to be the quarterback for this Pittsburgh Steelers team. Kyler Murray, again, I think has no chance. I don't want Kyler Murray here.
No.
But he's a name that came up. Some of these kids out of college, Mike, again, not a big first round for quarterbacks. You get your quarterback, you could always get him a few rounds later, more than likely. As we're lining up in September to kick this thing off, where do you lean? Me personally, Will Howard, the idea of Will Howard is growing on me.
He grew on me during the whole process. And one of the things that sold him on me was, like I said, one of the former backup quarterbacks that I follow, who breaks down quarterbacks, who called Jaden Daniels like he's going to end up being probably Rookie of the Year. I started trusting his breakdown more, and he was like, Will Howard, if you get him in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, you get him in a system that can highlight his strengths. He can be a productive NFL quarterback. Not going to be a superstar in the league, but a guy who can win you games, win you playoff games. right roster, maybe a Super Bowl. So, like, okay, someone who has called a lot of things right, I'm trusting their opinion. So, like, I'm warming to the Will Howard idea, but I'm always for, hey, if there's someone better, go
Right.
out and get that someone better. But this draft class, I don't think there really is anyone better. Even Mendoza, he had a hell of a rookie season. Is he a number one pick? Does he, when you watch him play, that screen NFL superstar coming off your screen? It doesn't to me. I think he can be serviceable in the right offense, but what do I know? But I just don't trust him. But
Drafting a
all these other
quarterback is
quarterbacks,
so
I don't
hit or
trust
miss,
either.
Mike, because some guys come in the 6th round and they become the GOAT. Some guys come the number 1 pick and they disappear into obscurity. You never hear their name the rest of your life. It's picking a quarterback there's a reason that everybody doesn't have their franchise quarterback. It's a difficult
They don't
thing.
grow on trees.
They don't grow on trees. I always say, like, there's literally about 5 of them on this planet at any given time when I'm talking about elite quarterbacks. And I truly believe that. Anybody outside those top 5 guys, they're just not elite. And again, it's the same ones that continue to win and win and win and win and win and win. So you get your guy, you're set. But if you don't, you're gonna run in place for quite some time trying to get your feet under you to get some momentum.
Yeah, and looking at this draft class, man, it's terrible because a lot of these colleges, they're not developing these kids for the next level. Therefore, like, what can I get out of you for this year? Because what if you transfer, or 2 to 3 years? That's all I want to get out of you. I don't care about developing you for the next level to run a high-powered NFL offense. You're going to run my offense that I want to run, and that's going to hide all your weaknesses, not develop them into a strength. They're not even going to develop your strengths. Just, we're going to go out there and you're going to play, and this is all we're going to worry about, and then move on. And so it's going to take a lot of these quarterbacks 2 to 3 years. We saw it sticking Sam Darnold, 6 years to live up to the hype of being a number 3 overall pick. It took Trevor Lawrence how long to live up to the hype of being a number 1 overall pick?
But the argument with that is you stick these good guys in, they always go to the worst possible teams.
Yeah.
As did Trevor Lawrence. Now you're seeing how he's turning that around in Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
You're starting to see, again, I seen the good in Aaron Donald in every team he played for. Now he's just on a team that has something going on around him. So a lot of times you put these good quarterbacks on terrible teams. We don't fall in that category, Mike. We kind of have a team ready to go. Yes, there's it's debatable if these guys should stay, if these guys were good enough, if these guys were part of the problem. But we're in a different position than a team like the Jets are, or a team that drafts one of these other guys who are just as bad to Jacksonville, for that matter, before he had the opportunity to turn things around down there. Trevor Lawrence I'm talking about. So it's kind of different with us. Now let me get to the next part of my go ahead, and then I got the next.
We're kind of like in the same boat we were when we got Ben, had a bad year, got him. We're kind of even more, maybe even to the same boat KC was when they traded up to get Patrick Mahomes. Like, they were making the playoffs. They weren't doing a whole hell of a lot.
We did have a pretty solid foundation of a defense, though, whenever we drafted Ben. I mean, that is one thing. It's not that we don't have a solid defense now, but not.
But
like
what I'm saying is, like, we have a lot of pieces in place to where a lot of these quarterbacks they're going.
We're not going to be depending on that number 1 pick to carry the entire team the whole way, and end up just wrecking his career because of it. That's
my second part of the question, Mike, is this: wouldn't the Steelers be an interesting case for this conversation? Because Mike McCarthy is considered an offensive guru, a quarterback guy, a guy that's been around developing successful quarterbacks throughout his career. This is kind of a different situation. Like, some things play to our advantage, some things don't. So you really have to think about how you handle this quarterback position, where it's different on other teams. These other teams, they need a guy, they need this, they need that. We kind of we're in position to put this thing right into place. And if Will Howard can in fact be that guy, we can certainly, Mike, avoid the whole losing process, part of the process. And under the new coaching system. So that's just my next question, Mike. How important is it having a guy like McCarthy, who is going to call the plays, who is an offensive mind, a quarterback guru, or whatever they keep? How important is it to have that, and how will that affect us differently than it would affect other teams in the NFL?
Oh, it's huge because Mike McCarthy, going back to when he had Aaron Rodgers, they totally changed his throwing motion from college to the pros, and that's what helped him become arguably the greatest.
And you know what? Even in college, the guy was damn good.
He was good, but they totally changed his mechanics, and you saw him become so much more accurate. And you have someone like that on your staff who can get the best out of you. And if if you can get the best out of Will Howard, and the best out of Will Howard is eventually a top 15 quarterback in the NFL, I think that's all you need to go on to have runs to championships, because you can have a good run game and good defense to carry you over the top. That would be awesome right there to have. It's awesome to have someone like that. And if we get the Tolzien from the Saints, look what they changed a lot of shit with Tyler Shuck, where you watch his college film, you blitz him up the middle, the dude was fucking lost a deer in the head, like just throwing the ball overhand like he's trying to shoot a sky hook for easy interceptions. They changed everything about him at a quarterback in a short amount of time, and he had a pretty good rookie year. And you get someone like that working with Will Howard, who has better mechanics and who is a little bit younger than some of these quarterbacks, it might be worth it. And what sucks is all these quarterbacks going back into college or having bad senior years. This was the year we loaded up for draft picks to go get our guy because we were building that foundation of a roster. This is the year to go get your quarterback and your wide receiver in the draft. Now it's, fuck. Do we have is there a wide or a quarterback in this draft to find? So maybe run it in with Will Howard and being taught by potentially Tolzien and Mike McCarthy might be the way to go. And it might be the right move for this team.
Wouldn't it be something if he ended up being that later round quarterback?
I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, come on, you see it.
He grew on me during the whole process.
Absolutely.
I'm down for it.
Being a Penn State guy, I mean, obviously you're probably thinking, what's this, Ohio State? And he comes and he does. He grew on you like a fungus. And I got to say the same thing. I'm kind of excited. I want to get an opportunity to see him, especially like he's been out since the preseason of last year when he broke his hand, of course, and not really getting a chance to see him, not getting his reps in. He was on the injury list for the longest period of time. And then when he came back, there was no opportunity for him to play. So I think a lot of people are chomping at the bit to see, Will Howard play some football. I think preseason is going to go a long way. I think it's going to be 100% different than what preseason was this year for the Steelers. Again, resting all the starters. I think Mike McCarthy's going to kind of come in and do what he does. We're going to get an opportunity to see these younger guys. I'm looking forward to it. Again, and there's going to be a whole new crop of rookies coming up. So, we can't let these guys be overlooked through that process. So it's going to be very interesting as we learn, guys. Again, it's a new team. It's a new era, if you will. The year of change, 2026. The Steelers hire Mike McCarthy as the head coach. The coordinators, assistants, and all the above are being filled as we speak. Names are going out. People are coming in. Interviews are happening. And this is, again, all new territory for us here. It's only happened 4 times in the Super Bowl era for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And here we are, guys, in the latest version, as Mike McCarthy does come and take that spot, the new spot. This here, guys, is just something interesting. I did see from I got this from one of our local media sports people. I do want to give credit where credit is due. He says this, Mike, he says, just an interesting group of numbers, and you may have seen this on Twitter. Big Ben, he retired on January 27th of the year that he retired. Bradshaw was drafted on January 27th. Arthur Rooney was born on January 27th. Chuck Noll was hired on January 27th. And finally, Mike McCarthy, you guessed it, January 27th. Neat, interesting. I don't know.
Hopefully Corey's here to run some numbers and see if this is going to correlate into a.
Can you put this in gematria? Can you put this in your gematria calendar calculator,
Corey?
January 7th, I just thought it was just interesting. What's the chances? And again, we did say that, Mike, every coach has been late January hires of the Big Four, adding, of course, Mike McCarthy. Now, all these coaches in the Super Bowl era have been hired in the 20s of every January of the year. And as I said, then you throw in when Bradshaw was drafted and Rooney and everything else. And I do also want to say that as we were talking about the draft, guys, it's been 52 years since that amazing draft class. The Pittsburgh Steelers, of course, drafted 4 Hall of Famers out of Lynn Swann, Jack Lambert, Stallworth, and Webster. Guys, 52 years today, 1974, January 29 was the day that happened, and arguably one of the biggest days, biggest drafts in the history of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And undrafted rookie free agent Donnie Shell becomes a Hall of Famer out of that team as well.
You're right. Sure does.
That is insane. I know like a lot of like draftniks want to say like one of the 49ers class was better. Like it was 4 fucking Hall of Famers in your 4 first picks. Sit down and shut up.
Well, there's
And
a
they were
reason.
all Hall of Famers that every football fan knows.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Jack Lambert. Everybody knows those guys. It's wild how not only how good they are, but how they've sustained legacies for over 50 years at to where people who aren't even regular Steeler fans, just your fair weather NFL fans, know who these men are. That's a testament to serious play.
In the defense of San Francisco, they also were a very great dynasty, and
They
I
were
don't.
very great, yes.
And again, the players that they drafted are just as fantastic in their era as ours were for
Oh,
us. But
yeah.
again, 52 years ago. 52 years ago is when all that started, guys. As Coach Noel was starting to put together that first Pittsburgh Steelers franchise to go on to win 4 Super Bowls back to back 2 times in the 70s, leading to where we are now, sitting at 6, hoping for that number 7th. And again, there's every single quarterback, or I'm sorry, every single head coach in the Super Bowl era for the Steelers has, in fact, brought us a Super Bowl. So again, I don't know. I'm just saying the football gods, they pay attention to things like this. They just do. I have no explanation. I'm going to do a couple more things here, guys. I want to bring up one more topic, and then we're going to get back on the board again. I don't want to leave. I don't want to miss a lot on the board. You know how I hate that. So let's. It drives me crazy if I miss any of it. And you know what? But again, I catch them all. I do want to let you know that I catch every single one of them eventually. But I like to try to get them all in the show. It's like a competition for me. But let me one more topic we're going to talk about, guys. Patrick Mahomes, LeBron James, Tom Brady, all bitching about Bill Belichick not being a first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm going to tell you why he's not a Hall of Famer. But the other part of that is, what does that mean for Coach T? At the end of the day, he never had a losing season. You always heard this term. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. With Bill Belichick and the success that he's had and accumulated, not a first ballot Hall of Famer. What does that mean for Coach T? Finch, I'm going to start with you. Address how you feel about Bill Belichick getting the snub, and then also how that affects Coach T here in about 5 years if he, in fact, stays on the same track that he's on.
Belichick was snubbed for very obvious reasons. I don't think there's really much more discussion to be made. A lot of the media heads, I was watching Rich Eisen and Jimmy Johnson was on Pat McAfee's show, all saying like this was a travesty, and they were saying some pretty mean stuff about Bill Polian and some of the other guys who were on that voting thing. I disagree with that. I think that he deserved this. Belichick did. I don't care that he already paid out all that money years ago and that he got whatever it was, a suspension for the draft picks and all that stuff were taken away from the team. I don't care about all that now. He still this needed to happen. And it also needs to show like that the NFL Hall of Fame committee is not going to tolerate things like cheating. And in the future, gambling is going to eventually come to the NFL and be an issue with some current player or coach in 20 years from now, right? They're setting a precedent there, and I agree that this was the right thing to do. Does he deserve to be banned from the Hall of Fame altogether? No, of course not. He'll be there next year.
Well, let me ask you this. If you do things to give your team an advantage over the other 31 other teams that's not under the guise of the rules of the NFL, if they were, maybe the other 31 other teams could be on the same playing field. So if you tape video teams other video other teams practices, if you deflate footballs, I mean the scandals go on and on and on, and some proven and some money, well, all the things you talked about. How can you consider this guy to be as great as people claim him to be if he did things that 31 other teams didn't do and was not allowed to do, and he ended up becoming the successful one, and the other 31 teams were not the successful ones? They're not the teams that win the Super Bowl. How can you continue to give him that high-class credit for just off the top, those 2 scandals alone? We could say we know. On top of that, you don't even know what else that went into this, that went into their dynasty. At the end of the day, you could prove that he cheated. You could prove that he cheated
all that
to win
evidence.
Super Bowls.
Right.
And so how can we justify it? It's the same way as saying, you know what, Pete Rose cheated. He bet on games, but you know what, just let him in because he did well. Where's that line between he did good enough to be a Hall of Famer and all the other stuff?
Right. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Ryan. And I do think that the cheating thing has obviously been proven with Belichick, and all that evidence destroyed. All the money was paid out and all the fines, whatever. So it's not like we're having this conversation of, well, he didn't actually cheat. You might be able to say that about Deflategate or one of these other weird ones, but the original Spygate, man, is definitely the one thing that really hangs in his craw. And that's the thing that defines Belichick other than the Super Bowl wins. And that was a big part of those first 3 Super Bowls was that scandal. I agree with you. Where do you draw the line there? And honestly, I'm not sure. But I will say this, they're not going to keep him out of the Hall of Fame permanently. It's not going to be a Shoeless Joe Jackson situation where 100 years later we're still talking about this guy's band.
And the funny thing about
Though.
the funny thing about Pete Rose is this.
Maybe it should be. I agree.
All the
Maybe
dude literally did, it had nothing to do with the results of his what he would be going to the Hall of Fame for
as the player. Yes, he did.
He had more hits than anybody else in the game.
Yeah, and it ain't even close. Him and Ted Williams,
he was involved in gambling in favor of his team when he was a coach, and then he doesn't go to the Hall of Fame for all the hits he had as a player. So that's what I'm saying. It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out in the NFL.
Situation is a kind of a different animal compared to what we're talking about with the Hall of Fame here in the NFL.
It's definitely a different animal.
But yeah, you're right. You're right though. Like you don't. Man, I'm kind of on both sides of it, to be honest with you.
Because it
is kind of a tiptoe thing, and but at the end of the day, the man cheated, and it's been proven, and there's no discussion needs to be made there. It definitely happened, and but the fact that he's won so much football, and the fact they let him stay in the NFL, some other coaches, if they'd have got caught with all that and what happened, there's a very real chance that they're just banned outright back then in 2005 or whenever it was. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of plays into it too. Like why had the NFL and Goodell showing so much favoritism towards Kraft and Belichick at that time as well? That's a whole different discussion. It's a weird situation, man. I'm not sure. And what you said about Coach T in the future, let's get on to that. Mm-hmm. I think that what we're seeing with Belichick today has really no effect on the future of the potential of Coach T getting in. Because he never cheated. He had that little thing where he stepped on the field that one time, but he paid a price for that. If we're okay with letting go with Belichick paying a price for his cheating thing, then we're okay with Tomlin stepping on the field in that one instance, in the heat of battle that one time. Other than that, I can't think of any other scandalous things.
Let me ask you this, plain and short, Bill Belichick, should he be in the Hall of Fame this year?
This year, no.
Mike?
Never. Never. You put the integrity of the league in jeopardy. They literally had footage of them filming the Rams practice before the Super Bowl, the week of the Super Bowl, and the league destroys the evidence so it doesn't get out to cast aspersions upon the shield. You got to protect the shield. That was Goodell's big thing in that era, suspending players for anything and everything. But yet this guy can film practices, the team you're playing in the Super Bowl, and we're going to destroy it. You pay $1.4 million, give up a first round pick, sayonara. It's all water under the bridge. That's bullshit. He should have been kicked out of the league. Anyone involved in Spygate should have been kicked out of the league. It should have been a huge scandal. So that shit never happens again. But, we're all going to forget about it because, they paid their fines. They got their draft picks. But look, he won all these Super Bowls. How they're tainted. There's like asterisks next to these. People want to say Barry Bonds should have an asterisk.
Yep.
Never failed a drug test. These guys, they were caught red-handed doing it. And I don't want to hear like, other teams were trying to do it. They weren't fucking caught. First of all, there's no evidence. There's rumors and innuendos that people tried to do it. 100% evidence you did this. And you kept doing it after you got caught the first time. And that's the thing. Like, people forget. They got caught multiple times doing this shit. They're doing it against the Bengals one year. Right. In the playoffs, they're trying to film their practices, and nothing happened to it. It was just, that's the Patriots. No, it was the Patriots. Yeah, with them. His record should be tainted. It's a farce and a joke.
I do want to welcome a few names of the board as I'm kind of just clicking through listening. I do want to welcome Stephen P17 to the board. Great to see you. Welcome to the Terrible Board. B Rich also welcome back to the Terrible Board, and also another name I caught up a little further here, right around up here, John Harvey. I think I recognize that name as well from the Terrible Board. I do want to say welcome to everybody. Thank you so much for all the comments, guys. Again, we certainly will read them all if we don't get to them on the air. Mike, I'm going to take a few minutes here to get caught up and read some comments from everybody, as that's just where we are at this point of the show. We're rounding third, if you will. We do have the question of the day coming up as well. So let me grab some of these Let me get some of these later messages. Truth Thong also. Truth Thong, always great to see Truth Thong back on the terrible board. Truth says this: only the Steelers are smart enough. Where did it go? Moved on me. There it is. Only the Steelers are smart enough to see how great Patrick Graham really is, even though his defensive stats suck and his teams usually give up a lot of points and have losing records. He's still great. Let's scoot up a little bit further here. B Rich says, fun fact from Dan Quinn: after coming to Dallas, Mike McCarthy dedicates the most practice time he's ever seen to defense takeaways and offense ball protection. Results reflect if you look, Green Bay plus Dallas. Let me also get Steven in here. Steven says this: the only thing Graham had going for him in Las Vegas, of course, this is the defensive coordinator. New defensive coordinator we were just recently talking about, guys. Patrick Graham. Steven says this: the only thing that Graham had going for him in Las Vegas is he had Max Crosby. Imagine what he could do here. TC says this: these players today wouldn't last in the seven. Damn, no, they wouldn't. Everything is so. Oh, my hamstring is. I better be out 2 months with this hamstring. Have you seen the way that those guys grabbed you by the neck and threw your ass to the ground back in the 70s?
I love this. There's a film clip that's been going around the internet for the last couple of years, and it's basically the opening crawl from Monday Night Football 1978.
Nice.
Right. So it's like maybe 20 clips real mashed together in like 40 seconds of just guys hitting each other. And the caption is, every single play in this clip would be illegal today in the NFL. And it's no joke. It really is. Because it's guys picking guys up and slamming them on their heads, stuff like that. The kind of football that we grew up watching on NFL films and stuff. And that's so true, man.
I wish younger fans would have been able to been alive. Just again, I didn't get to really get into the 60s and 70s football. I wasn't even born. But
we had NFL films, and they played that all the time on ESPN and ESPN2. And NFL Films was so good with showing that side of the game and the way that they would, frame these shots of these guys, beating each other up on the field, made it look even tougher and harder than it probably really was. And we grew up on that stuff, and the voice of Steve Sable, the whole thing.
Absolutely. The NFL
I think that has a lot to do with it as well for our generation, watching that stuff growing up as fans. Whereas now, it's spread out. There's more things to see when it comes to football, and you're not as likely to see some of that old stuff.
I'm going to stick with a couple of new names here. As I said, we were kind of rounding third. I'm going to try to grab as much as I can. I'm going to grab another John Harvey here. He says, Bill Belichick deserves first ballot in the Hall of Fame or into the Hall of Cheating to gain victories. A genius shouldn't have to get an edge. That's what I'm saying. He looked like a genius because he had information that 31 other teams didn't have. Of course he's going to look like a genius. No wonder. Come on. I agree.
A genius does do everything he needs to do to get the edge. But when you break the rules to do it, that's where the line needs to be. Coaches back in the day before they had electronics and the helmets would steal signs all the time. They'd be over there with binoculars trying to see this. You see it in baseball all the time, guys stealing signs. That's the kind of edge.
Out as
they do get called out. The Astros, yeah, somebody mentioned that. That one was more elaborate. But when it's okay to try to work hard to get that edge, you can't break the rules to get that edge. That's where you draw the line.
Steeler Freak says 1970s Steeler players would get arrested at halftime for attempted murder today. Let me grab a few
and then
more.
Get criticized for smoking cigarettes at halftime.
There's nothing that I love more than seeing the quarterbacks and back in the 60s sitting on the sideline smoking a cigarette in between.
I'm trying to think. Was it Sammy Baugh? One of those like early. He was
Sammy
just
Baugh,
ripping.
Sim Blunkett or Plunkett.
Jim Plunkett. Jim
Plunkett.
Yeah.
Jim Blumpkin.
Oh, what? Rusty trombone.
Tainted Bulls is what Mark Malone is saying. B Rich says league didn't care. Obviously, Astros didn't get any punishment either. Let me scoot up just a little bit further here. And again, we are going to get into this trivia question in just a moment, guys. Let me grab Tortilla. Tortilla says, you guys think Bill ever went on the island? Hey, you never know anymore. Who's rich? Who's powerful? Who's in a position to be influential? It wouldn't surprise me anymore. I don't know. I'm not accusing anybody, but I'm just saying there's a lot of rich, influential, successful people, and if you're trying to pick
he is the same age as all those people.
And if you're trying to pick a needle out of a haystack, it's almost impossible. He could have, he might have, he might not.
He does have a thing for young ladies.
I mean, come on, young ladies are fantastic, but I don't think they're.
I'm just saying he has a
I
thing
don't
for
think that's
young
the same
ladies.
kind of young that we're talking about, Finch.
Well,
People on that,
you know,
the
maybe,
ladies on that island are a little younger.
but 20 years ago, his sentiments might have skewed a little younger.
Interesting. Let me do scoot up here. Also, Cody.
We're not
said,
accusing him of any of that, by the way. We are joking.
somber. Cody says somber. We are blood brothers. He says that to somber. Let me scoot up here a little bit more. B Rich says, all of you love McCarthy once it gets underway. All of y'all will love McCarthy. And the thing is, Yinzer humor and press conference. For those reasons, I already do love him. That's just me personally liking him because again, he could be a guy that grew up next door to or lived next door to me for 30 years. He's a Pittsburgher. You see it I mean, if you don't know what a Pittsburgher looks like, tune into the Mike McCarthy press conference.
I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but that is what we look like.
It's a fantastic thing. I mean, the guy's personality, he really shown that's what it means to be a Pittsburgher, guys. And again, he showed his pride, and I was very prideful. A lot of people turned after they seen that press conference, and I think rightfully so. Now I got to see what the guy can do on the football field. That's what it really matters. The personal stuff is really irrelevant.
Let's see how he drafts.
The way the guy could produce on the field and get our team wins, get us closer to that number 7 is the only thing that should really matter. But at the end of the day, for personal reasons, he reminds me a lot of me, and that's not. People tend to like people that remind them of themselves. And again, 1137 Greenfield. Finch, that could have been your address. You know what I'm saying? It was very Pittsburghy. It really hit home. And again, I feel that he is a Pittsburgh Steeler head coach through and through. And I'm not saying that anybody else wasn't. I'm just kind of saying on a personal note how I feel about the gentleman that did take the job just this past weekend. Again, he could have been any one of my neighbors.
He could be the guy standing behind you in a grocery line.
Very
with
easily.
A 6-pack of Dukes.
I have conversations with guys like him all the time.
Yeah.
Just the way he talks, everything. Again, I think Pittsburghers are going to love him eventually because, again, he's a Pittsburgher. And at the end of the day, it's a tight-knit community. And one thing about Pittsburgh, it's a big city, but it's one of the smallest of the big cities. So there are a lot of small town attributes that a town like Pittsburgh has that has a smaller, tighter knit feel, and people that are out of town, like a lot of people on our board, Finch, they also can certainly feel at home because it's a very welcoming homey experience with Pittsburgh people. I do believe that. And as a matter of fact, they say Pittsburgh is one of the only places you could tell if somebody's from Pittsburgh whenever they're out, because they'll go to the bar. If they're at the bar, they'll leave their keys, everything right on the bar and go to the bathroom. Apparently in other places around the country,
really?
No way. I'm going to put this in my pocket. I'm going to hide it. I'm going to tuck it away. The one thing that I've heard regularly from people not from here is people from Pittsburgh, they'll leave their stuff right on the counter, their phone, their cigarettes, whatever, go to the bathroom, come back, and it's not even thought twice.
See, that's kind of funny because, like, I see that all the time when I do and have for years when I go to a bar or a bar restaurant or something. You do see that a lot, and it just didn't occur to me that when I've traveled out of town that people didn't do that. That's
and again, whether it's still the same, it's just something that I've always heard. And it seems to have held true. Grab a couple more here. TC says, I guess, if you're off, the field antics can stop you from getting into the hall. Lots of players are saying, yeah, you're true. Absolutely. And that goes across all the way back to Shoeless Joe Jackson and Pete Rose and everybody. So again,
I've been seeing T.O.'s name brought up a lot the last couple of days. You know, he was left off that first, and he definitely should have been, just in terms of talent.
Well, the thing is, wide receivers, you have to put wide receivers on a whole nother level because they're
he was, but there's the way he talked to the media, and you know, you remember the sit-ups in his parking lot and stuff like that. You know, that must have turned people off. And
the thing is, the best wide receivers are the craziest. And how can you police that when it comes to Hall of Fame? B Rich says this: the wait and see with McCarthy is unjustified. McCarthy is who DJ Khaled based the song on. Win. You know what? It's just the Pittsburgh mindset. We've seen it all. We've been to the top. We've been everywhere. We won a lot of Super Bowls. So we know the process. It's we're gonna have to watch it play out, and it could look great on paper and end up being shit when it's said and done, or vice versa. So I think that Pittsburgh Steeler fans are very savvy. They do know what to keep an eye on. And I love the array of opinions, guys. And that shows me that they're focused and they're invested. And they're, again, I can't ever say a bad thing about Steeler fans, and I never will because I won't believe it if it's said. Somber says, I don't leave anything anywhere where I'm at in public ever. See, that's a normal thing here. And the more I think about it, I do it. I'll get up from... If you're at Applebee's, I mean, you got your shit sitting there. I get up and go to the bathroom. People tuck their shit away, hide their shit, put it in their pocket.
My uncle was in town a couple months ago from Houston, and he and I went for a ride in my pickup truck, and I parked my truck in front of my house here in town. I live in town, and I had like a $20 bill sitting kind of in the middle thing, and I locked the door. We walked out. We go into the house, and he looks at me, grabs me, Jeff, you left your money sitting in your truck. I'm like, yeah. So he's like, well, people can see it. Someone's gonna break in there. I'm like, this ain't Houston, Texas, man. Like, I know that's where you live and you have to worry about that, but here we don't have that issue. Like, people are cool here. They respect you here, and that's just that's our neighborhood. That's how we are.
That's right, guys. Mike, are you available? Sometimes he disappears and he
See no
reappears.
Mike, hear no Mike, speak no Mike.
And I don't know if he's not available or if he's just
Is he having tech issues today? Is that what's going on?
I don't know.
Because he was on his phone for a little bit there, and
just at the time of the show that I need him.
Yeah, we need Mike.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right.
Yeah.
Let's start wrapping it up here, brother.
Tortilla says, yeah, every time I leave my cocaine out, it runs up my nose. Mike, Mike's saying, are you gonna have an opportunity to finish the show as we planned? Let me know, because again, I'm kind of waiting on you to make this next step. In the meantime, let me know if all right, let me do this. Do go check out the website, everybody. Go check out www.d2. Okay, thank you. Of course, you know what? I never have a song ready to play, and then the one day I have, I don't have the capability to put it out. These are the kind of things that drive me nuts, making me mental. But do tune in tomorrow, because if you do want to catch this song, Terrible Titties, that's right, we put it out today. This is a song about one of the most memorable moments from episode 8. Again today, episode 900, the first show of season 9. One of the more memorable moments from season 8 was Derpy's Titties, as a matter of fact. And there's a song that our in-house AI band heads put together for us called Terrible Titties. We did play it earlier, and if Mike could get in here before the end of the show, we'll play it again as I plan to do, or tomorrow we will be back. We'll certainly play that early for you tomorrow. Terrible Titties, it's a great song. So there you go. Do go check out the website, everybody. www.d2dumyinzers.com. That's www.d2dumyinzers.com. Lots of cool things over there. Mike does put a lot of work over there. He has his terrible thoughts, his dumb thoughts. I'm sorry. Also, he has all the links to every show we ever did. All 900 shows, guys. You can check them out. There's the links over there for that. Also, there's contact information. And if you see our fist logo, a lot of cool things with that sharp fist logo on over the merchandise store. Go check all that out at www.d2dumyinzers.com. That's www.d2dumyinzers.com. Also, guys, you're going to go, if you haven't had a chance, go check out our social media as well. We are everywhere. Matter of fact, you can Google us, AI us, but do stop by our social media stuff. Guys, we're on Facebook. We're on X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, even TikTok. Hit the follow button. Keep up with what the two Dum Yinzers are up to on a day-to-day basis. Guys, let's get into the question of the day. Put on your thinking cap, Finch. Everybody at home, everybody on the board. I'm seeing Mike coming and going. Again, maybe we could get this fixed and get this song played before we do head out today. I would love for that to happen. Again, we don't have this issue until I actually need it. And now all of a sudden there's the issue. So hopefully we can pull this together just long enough to get this out for you guys before we do go off the air today. Let's get into the question of the day. Finch, Mike, if you could hear me, everybody on the board, everybody at home, this is the question of the day. We are going into the fourth new head coach in the Super Bowl era. Everybody knows that Mike McCarthy was hired Saturday to become the new Pittsburgh Steelers head coach. My question of the day is this. Going by the big three, of course, Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin. The question of the day, I'm going to give you multiple choice. What was the record of the big three after their first game, their first game played, first game coach? So Mike McCarthy comes in and let's say he plays the Browns and they win 15-7. What's the record of the big three in their first game coached as Pittsburgh Steelers coaches? Guys, I'm going to give you multiple choices. Was it 3-0? Did they all three win their inaugural game? Was it 2-1? Was it 1-2? Or was it 0-3? Again, I'm talking about the big names, our big three: Noll, Cowher, Tomlin. What's their record in their very first game coaching Pittsburgh Steelers football teams? Guys, your multiple choices are 3-0 A, 2-1 B, 1-2 C, and 0-3 D. I'm seeing Tyrone. He says, I think they lost all three. He's saying 0-3 Tortilla. And also B Rich is saying 0-3, 0-3. Finch, what's your thought process on this? Of course, unless you look it up, you probably don't know. But where's your mind going with this question?
Yeah, I felt like 0-3 is the right answer. I really don't know.
Tyrone saying D.
Yeah, I'm really not sure. Yeah, what's the D answer?
0-3.
Okay, that's 0-3.
Unless
All
we're
right.
talking about Derpy, then it's
Yeah.
double
Derpy.
D.
That's double
Yeah,
D's.
yeah.
Not enough D's there, and they need to be capitalized.
No.
Yeah, I'm going with 0-3 because it's one of those questions where it's like, oh, these three of the greatest coaches of all time just happen to have a goose egg for a record in their opening games. You know what I mean? Like it has that feel to it. So I'm going to go with 0-3, and that's a guess. I like it though. That's what I'm saying.
I do know that Somber is going against the odds. He's actually saying 3-0, 3-0. Guys, take another moment to think it over. Again, what's the combined record of the big three? Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin in their very first game coached as Steeler coaches. Guys, what is the record? Multiple choices. 3-0. All three of them won their very first game. B, 2-1. C, 1-2. Or D, 0-3. We'll give that answer in just a moment, guys. Do throw up your guesses if you got them. It don't matter if they're wrong. Just throw it up there. I don't think anybody really knows this unless you look it up, which I had to do as well. Guys, so take a moment, throw it up there if you do think you know it. Again, what was the first game record of the big three? 3-0. Did they all win their very first game as a Steeler head coach? 2-1, 1-2, 0-3. That's the multiple choices. Throw it up if you think you know it. Matter of fact, throw it up even if you don't know it. Guys, question of the day. Let's get into it, Finch. This is the answer. You ready? Here we go. What is the record of the big three in their very first games coached as Steelers? 2-1 bingo saying. Bunch of different answers on the board. B Rich saying 1-3. Guys, the correct answer is, let me give you the results first. Mike Tomlin in his first game coaching the Steelers beat the Browns 34-7. Bill Cowher in his first game coach for the Steelers beat the Houston Oilers 29-24.
Houston Oilers, that's a throwback.
Chuck Noll in his first game coached for the Steelers beat the Detroit Lions 17-10 and went on to lose every game.
Every game after that, right? Yeah, they only won
1-11 or something like this.
Yes.
3-0. The big three in their very first games coaching in Pittsburgh. Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin, all winning their very first game as head coach. We'll find out if that trend continues this September as Mike McCarthy takes over the helm, and we will see if he can keep that trend going and make this record 4-0. Mike, are you back?
I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah.
All right. Look at that. Cody says 34-7 beat the brakes off the Browns. That is that is a funny part of that. And too bad that damn Tater wasn't here today. What a fun question.
A nice way to end the show right there with that stat.
We got to get a wellness check on Tater.
I do. We do.
I hope nobody mashed him overnight.
Yeah.
I hate you.
A couple more things, guys. Before we do wrap it up here, we're going to have the capability to play Terrible Titties. Please do stick around. We only got a couple more minutes. Let us do our thing, and you could rock out with us the rest of the way out of the show. Here we go. If you haven't had a chance yet, do hit the like button down below, guys. Hit the like, hit the sub. If you haven't, share, comment. Even if after the show, you can hit the hype button. If you scroll to the side in the bar there with the comments in that, you can have the opportunity to hit the hype button.
Us up. Hype us up.
If you hit all that, man, it all helps in the algorithm. We appreciate it all. Thank you so much. Also, do want to say this, guys. We have a lot of football coming up. We have the Senior Bowl coming up this weekend. We have the Pro Bowl Tuesday, Super Bowl next weekend. Guys, whatever you do, don't watch any of this football coming up without getting ready and drinking your Duquesne Pilsner. That's right. Duquesne Pilsner made right here in Pittsburgh. The guys over at Duquesne Pilsner go out of their way to include us in all their promoting, and we couldn't be more grateful, guys. Do go over, either stop to Giant Eagle, get yourself a 12-pack, stop and get yourself a case. But whatever you do, even if you don't drink, stop over Duquesne Pilsner. Follow, like. I'm sure the guys over there will appreciate it. Show them some love as they do for us as well. We thank you for that. And one other thing I think that I have. No, you know what? I think it's that time. I'm going to start let me grab a few more questions, or let me grab a few more comments, and then we are going to start wrapping things up here. And again, stick around. Terrible Titties, the debut today on the show, of course, from the highlight, one of the most memorable moments from season 8, as today is day 1 of season 9, episode 900, just 100 shows away from the big 1,000, hitting the 5-year mark here this summer. So a lot of big things going on here with the two Dum Yinzers. We hope that everybody sticks around, and it's going to be a blast, guys. We're going to take this thing all the way to the Super Bowl. This show never ends; goes year round, and we're gonna hoist that Vince Lombardi trophy together one day. I promise you. A couple things before we do get ready to go. Finch, anything that you have to say? Any finishing comments before we wrap it up?
I am honored to be a part of the opening episode of season 9, episode 900. That's a real testament to you guys. A round of applause. I haven't done anything 900 times my
Neither have
entire
I.
life. Well, wait,
Well,
maybe
there's that
thing.
one. Come on, Finch.
Maybe one thing.
Come on.
Well,
Split between two.
All
Never
right,
mind.
all right.
Yeah. But you know, there's a whole contest and everything. Congratulations on you guys for making
Thank
it. It's been 5 years, right?
Yes.
I remember when you first started this thing, Ryan blew me up every day for a month. Come watch my podcast. Come watch my podcast. And I'd go back and I'd catch them, and I thought it was cool and interesting and stuff. And then in the last year and a half, you guys have really refined your show to something really great and special. And I think the board agrees. They show up every single day for a reason. It's because you guys put on a good show, and I'm honored to be a part of that. Am I part of the good part of that? It's debatable, but I'm happy to be here and I have fun. And it's just, it's fun to hang out with your friends and to make new friends online on the board every single day. So, that's my statement today. Congratulations on 900. That's insane. Good for you guys. Thank you for putting out some fun and high quality and sometimes low quality content. Yes.
And when Derby's here sometimes, so you're right.
It's true.
yeah, that's
Thank
the
you,
Derby
Finch.
part.
That means a lot.
No, I mean it too, man. It's cool to be a part of something neat. There's a community and it's awesome.
What's up, Vegas? Always great seeing Vegas. I do want to say I'd seen him pop in. I don't want to miss out on him. Mike, anything before we do get ready to wrap it up? Again, Cody, it's coming. Again, we're going to get to downtime eventually. The Steelers, Steelers news is big a lot of the time, but when it's not, there will be midgets. But Mike, go ahead.
There'll be midgets. There'll be a lot of stuff. 900 episodes, Ryan. I'm surprised we made it this far. I know I say that at every milestone, and I believe it. And because, we started this thing as just, 2 dudes just hanging out bullshitting. And it blossomed into this, something awesome, something badass. And then, strap in, boys. This is a goddamn rocket ship. We're ready to take off. And I'm excited for the next step of this shit. And hey, man, fresh, season 9 feels like a fresh start. Season 9 feels like the Mike McCarthy hire. You're excited. You don't know what's coming up, baby. It's going to be legit and lit.
All right, guys, that's wonderful, Mike. Let me grab a couple of these messages here, just showing a little bit of gratitude as well. Richard says, congratulations. Thank you, Richard, of course. Tyrone said this is his favorite, man. You are the GOAT, Ty. Thank you, sir. TC, great show as always. Thank you, my friend from Aliquippa. Georgianne, great to see you. Nice to see Georgianne on the terrible board. Thank you. Also, let me see, Ty. Congrats, guys. Even the Browns fans. It's so good even the Browns fans watch the show, is what Tortilla says. If I missed anything else, great show.
And Ravens fans, too. We've got a couple Raven regulars that come in from time to time as well.
Miss Pittsburgh, great show like always. So, guys, thank you so much. Tyrone, everybody, thank you. And if I didn't catch you, it's nothing against you, believe me. There's a lot of messages that go, and I will eventually see them all. So, again, thank you so much, guys. It's been a hell of a ride. We've been looking forward to this next 100 shows to get us to the big 1,000. We have a lot of big things coming up. I think you guys are going to like. Again, this goes all year around. If we don't have super awesome Steeler content, we'll dip and delve in some other areas that I think you guys are going to find entertaining as well. But guys, it does go it doesn't end. The two Dum Yinzers experience doesn't end, Mike. But unfortunately, it's going to end for the day. We'll be back tomorrow at our regular time to do it all over again to wrap up the weekend. And I do know this. We're going to be celebrating Tyrone's birthday. That's on Saturday. We'll be celebrating that a little bit tomorrow.
Nice. Happy birthday, Ty.
With Ty, we love from the board. He's going to be turning 25. So we'll be doing that.
Damn.
But I also do want to say this to everybody. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Thank you for checking us out. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do without you guys. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you to everybody on the board. You guys are you always keep the show interesting. You are the lifeblood of the show. I always say that. I always mean that. Thank you. Everybody at home, whether you're watching, whether you're listening, whether you're at the gym, whether you're in school, whether you're at the job, in the car, shoveling snow. Thank you two guys. Thank you so much. It's been a hell of a ride, and we look forward to at least doubling what we did already, and then even beyond that. So, guys, it's going to be a long time. I hope to keep everybody and then continue to grow. I think this is going to be a big year for the two Dum Yinzers. We're very, very excited. Thank you so much, everybody. So, for you, I have something as well. We put together the in-house AI band. Took this classic moment from season 8. Where Derpy, let me paint it out a little bit. Derpy has never shown his face. He was kind of this novelty character on the show. One day, his camera turns on, and not only do you see Derpy's face, there he is, no shirt, sitting there like a baby bird in a nest with all these blankets around him, and all you see is probably
it was a bad camera angle too. Like it was a
terrible.
low angle looking up, and the light was behind him, and he looked like this white amorphous blob of a human. It was a sight.
Dumbfounded, just staring at the camera like, what the shit did I do? What do I do next?
And there is this big.
And if I didn't mention, he had no shirt on. That's what makes it. That's what makes it what it was, guys. So we're gonna leave you today with this first show of the. What's up, Joey? I do want to say welcome to Joey. We're actually on the way out, Joey, but do stick around. This is something that was put together for the kickoff show of season 9, which is today, episode 900. Guys, this is Derpy's titties. This is terrible titties. I'm sorry, from the Derpy's titties experience in season 8, guys. I hope you enjoy it. We'll get more information. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. I think Derpy might be here tomorrow, and maybe we could listen to it with him in the house as well. It's gonna be a lot of fun, guys. Mike, go ahead and cue up the new hit song. I promise you're going to be singing this one the rest of the day, guys. Enjoy Terrible Titties. Other than that, have a great day. Have a safe day. Stay warm. We'll see you tomorrow again at our regular time to wrap up the week. But here we go, guys. Mike, let it rip.
He walked in, shaped his size is small. Whole bar went silent. Like, bro, you're smuggling parade balloons. The cotton looking violent. Got them steppins under flannel.